Chapter 1041. Watching it without any ads was awesome. The moment the three black beads appeared in the profounding, the entire place was shaken, and their hearts were filled with rage, because this kind of dog shit luck was never given to them. Previously, they had been fighting with all their might, but in the end, there were no treasures in the profounding, and there were always treasures that no one fought for. The white tiger's expression changed slightly because the power emitted by the three black pearls was too terrifying. It could actually shoot out a black glow that caused the entire hall to become dark. He extended his hand and grabbed, holding the three beads tightly in his palm, and then took a deep breath, because he already knew what the three beads were. He never thought that such a treasure would appear inside the profounding. It's the Rule Spiritual Bead, an expert from the Heaven Realm shouted. All of these rankers came from the Heaven Realm and were all at the same level as Feng Quan and Ling Feng. Looking at their ferocious looks, they probably wanted to snatch the black pearl from the white tiger's hands. Chen Shang sneered in his heart, "You reckless fool." Ling Feng from the Purple Moon Imperial Land also appeared. The old lady's face was gloomy and cold. She leaned on her walking stick as she looked at the white tiger. "Brother, this thing is useless to you, but it has a great meaning to us. Can we part with it?" "How do you know it's useless to me?" He had never wanted to provoke the experts of these big powers, so he could now understand why Chen Shang would always go against these big powers. It was because Chen Shang had a lot of good things in his hands, and these big powers would always find some kind of magnificent excuse to snatch them away, extremely shameless. "Everyone, are you trying to steal something from my Purple Moon Imperial Land?" Ling Feng looked at the rankers surrounding the white tiger. These rankers from the Heaven Realm were all big shots from the ancient powers, and these ancient powers were also traitors from the past. However, their overall strength was not as strong as those in the Sheng domain or those in the Tong Tian aristocratic family. A middle-aged man looked coldly at the white tiger, not replying to Ling Feng. In the eyes of these experts, they were unrivaled existences in this world, and this Rule Spiritual Bead was something that was rarely seen in hundreds of thousands of years. They could not let it go. If they could get one, they could use the power of the ancient code. This was the first time Chen Shang had heard of this Rule Spiritual Bead. Rule Spiritual Bead and Philosophic Stone are similar things. Rule Spiritual Bead are beads naturally formed from a type of power of law. The person who obtains these Rule Spiritual Bead can step into the realm of using the power of law. There are many types of law energies. For example, the space law and the time law are both powerful law energies, so everyone is relatively familiar with them. There are many types of law energies between heaven and earth. I wonder what kind of law these three Rule Spiritual Bead are, Bai Yu said. I bought this with more than 500 billion spars. Whether I can eat it or not is my problem. The white tiger was surrounded by so many experts and was still very calm. I can give you 5 trillion spars, Ling Feng said. Many people did not know about the affairs of the Rule Spiritual Bead, but seeing the great battle between these strong warriors, they knew that the three pearls were very precious, able to make the strong warriors snatch them away without fear of their own honor. Many people secretly wondered if they would be able to obtain these three pearls, if they could. The white tiger wanted to store the Rule Spiritual Bead in the storage magic treasure, but it did not succeed. This was very normal. After all, this was a profound orb condensed from the power of the ancient code and could guide living beings in using the power of the ancient code. That's not up to you, otherwise you wouldn't be able to walk out of the door today. Ling Feng's old face turned cold, and said sinisterly. Li Baojun wasn't sure about the white tiger's strength, so he asked Chen Shang if he could help, but Chen Shang replied very calmly, "No need, I was thinking about how many of those guys up there can still live." The white tiger was known as the god of slaughter, so he had nothing to be afraid of. "I'll ask you one more time, are you selling or not?" Ling Feng glared at the white tiger and said loudly. At the same time, a few purple-robed elders suddenly appeared, all of them extremely powerful. The three Rule Spiritual Beads in the white tiger's hands were trembling. If it wasn't for the fact that he was strong, he wouldn't have been able to catch these three Rule Spiritual Beads, which was also why many experts were wary of his strength. How strong were the laws? The condensed pearls were definitely not weak. The white tiger looked at the dozen or so people surrounding him and coldly said, "I'm not selling it. If you make a move on me, you will all die." HMPH. A purple-robed elder disdainfully snorted as he thrusted his sword at the white tiger. Die. The white tiger ferociously glared at the purple-robed elder. In an instant, the entire hall was filled with a terrifying killing intent, causing many people to go limp and speechless from fright. After the purple-robed elder was glanced at by the white tiger, his entire body turned into black smoke, and the killing intent that erupted from the white tiger's body scattered throughout the hall. "You've angered me," the white tiger bellowed. That terrifying roar made everyone think that they were going to be killed, and the entire auction house also disappeared in an instant. Many of the experts in the boxes floated in the air, their faces filled with fear. These people who thought that they were invincible in the world were like frightened cats, trembling from head to toe. Ling Feng was shocked. She had originally wanted to take action, but at this moment, she was already too weak to retaliate due to the powerful aura of the white tiger. "Everyone, join hands and control him, or else we will all die," Ling Feng shouted. He strove to use all the strength in his body and swung his crutches towards the white tiger. The experts of the other heaven realms also circulated the energy in their bodies and struck towards the white tiger. In that instant, all kinds of light rays enveloped the white tiger, and the dozen experts attacked at the same time, causing the entire Heaven Thunder City to tremble violently. "All of you must die," the white tiger said coldly. Its body trembled, dispersing all the energy that was attacking him, then it threw out a palm towards Ling Feng, and with just a light palm in midair, it turned Ling Feng and the powerful cane into black smoke. The Ling Feng who was strong, was actually scared out of his wits by a single palm from someone else. This person's power was so strong that it caused people to be afraid of him. The white tiger's eyes swept across the 10 over people attacking it, shooting out beams of murderous light. Those experts all turned into black smoke and disappeared. With just their eyes, they could crush these experts to death like ants. "Who else wants to steal from me?" The white tiger's voice rang in the minds of the crowd, and many people were so frightened that they were paralyzed on the ground, while the experts that were floating in the air were drenched in cold sweat, their faces full of fear. They didn't doubt that the person in front of them only needed a moment to turn them all into black smoke and disappear from this world forever. The white tiger waved its sleeve and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Chapter 1042. After a few moves, those experts who thought themselves to be unrivaled in the world turned into a cloud of black smoke. Looking at the ruined auction house, everyone could not help but shiver, especially the floating black smoke. It was the only thing that remained behind after the death of the famous Heaven Realm warriors. Who was that person? Everyone had this question, and only the Demon Empress, LV Qinlian, knew that person was the person she met before in the Golden Yang building. People with this kind of strength were rarely seen even in the Heaven Realm. "It's the Emperor's Qi." Of the Feng clan had a solemn look on his face. "That's right. Legend has it that only the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord who had mastered Heaven Earth killing method would have such a terrifying power. Who exactly is this person? Could it be Chen Shang?" An old man mumbled. "It's definitely not him. If it really was Chen Shang, your Feng clan would have been annihilated long ago," the Gold Sun Saint Realm leader said. When everyone left in shock and fear, Chen Shang and Li Baojun returned to their residences. The white tiger also returned, and he even used his power to confine the power of the 3 rule spiritual beads so that they wouldn't leak out. Li Baojun had long known that the white tiger was very strong, but he never thought that it would be strong to such an extent. Now, he finally understood why Chen Shang fearlessly came to the 3 realms talk to participate, and why the things that the white tiger often talked about were so long ago. "Senior, you were so beautiful just now." Chen Shang laughed. "These guys are really too excessive. Otherwise, I wouldn't even bother to attack them and waste my strength." The white tiger spread out its palm and said, "These 3 rule spiritual beads are very valuable, and many people don't know how to use them." "One for each person," Chen Shang said. "That's not a problem, but we don't know what the rules are for these rule spiritual bead. If they're not suitable for us, then it might be a waste, or it might affect us," the white tiger said very seriously. A golden light shot out from between Chen Zhang's brows and opened his chaos divine eye, wanting to pry into these rule spiritual bead, but he suffered from a strong mental counterattack, causing his head to sink. He was in extreme pain and almost fell to the ground. "Can you see anything?" The white tiger supported him and asked in a hurry. "Yes, this one is burning with a strong flame." Chen Zhang's face was pale white as he pointed to one of the rule spiritual bead. He never thought that the Chaos Divine Eye would actually be so powerful, to be able to directly see through the rule spiritual bead and see the power of the ancient code inside. "It should be the law of fire. Which one of you wants it?" The white tiger looked at Chen Shang and Li Baojun, since the 2 of them were refining pills. Although it was unknown what benefits the fire laws could bring, it could be imagined that it would be very useful. "I already have a 5 elements heavenly fire. If leader needs it, then I will take it." Li Baojun did not care about the rule spiritual bead. If not for Chen Shang, they would not even have seen its face. Give it to him. After your heaven fire evolved into a sky fire, it can be said to be the strongest flame. I might be able to comprehend the fire laws by then. Su Meiyao said that Chen Shang had a lot of room to grow in terms of fire. Although choosing the law of fire now would help him improve even faster, Chen Shang possessing the law of fire was a matter of time. Chen Shang said, Elder Li, if you want it, take it. My flames are more than enough now. Li Baojun nodded. He took a rule spiritual bead from the white tiger's hands, and it took him a lot of effort to hold it. How do I use it? Li Baojun asked. Blood soul sacrifice, use your blood and soul to refine it. The white tiger replied, the process will be a bit painful. Then I'll go into seclusion. Li Baojun nodded his head and quickly entered the room. With 2 rule spiritual bead remaining, Chen Shang said, I'll rest first, then we'll see what's inside. Why don't we try our luck? White Tiger smiled. In any case, aside from the fire laws, the other laws no longer mattered to you. If Chen Shang could obtain the law of fire, that would be a bit of a waste, because his heaven fire could evolve. Alright, Chen Shang didn't dare to take the rule spiritual bead now, because after being attacked just now, he was completely powerless. Chen Shang sat down to rest and asked, how is the law of fire? The white tiger shook its head. I've never seen it with my own eyes, but I've heard that the vermilion bird comprehended the laws of fire, allowing her to use the power of the fire laws. However, I've never seen her use it before. The vermilion bird is so powerful, how did it die? Chen Shang had her bones. The white tiger did not reply Chen Shang. Chen Shang stuck out his tongue, then asked, Senior, who have you seen unleashing the power of the ancient code? Law of time. When a guy fights with me, because he used the time laws, he added power to my body, making my time slow down by a lot. Then, my movements would become very slow in his eyes, and I would be miserably tortured by him. When the white tiger mentioned this, it repeatedly sighed. What guy? He actually knows the time laws. Chen Shang asked curiously. An old man of unknown origin. He also said that he used the law of time, that he passed through time and space to return back to the ancient times to look at history, but he also said that although he could use the law of time, he couldn't change the law. Otherwise, he would have been destroyed. The white tiger said. That's amazing. The time laws are indeed amazing. But that's not a good thing at all. If he can't help but want to change history, that would be a huge disaster. Chen Shang shook his head and laughed. If there are no rule spiritual bead, comprehending the power of the law is extremely difficult. The white tiger looked at the rule spiritual bead in its hands. I have always heard about this kind of thing, but I never thought that I would actually be able to see it. That profound cold ancient realm is indeed a very mysterious place. The profound being there can actually freeze this kind of thing. Chen Shang had already recovered most of his strength, but he was a little worried that he would get his hands on the rule spiritual bead of the time laws. I want this. Chen Shang did not hesitate either. After casually grabbing a rule spiritual bead and escaping from the white tiger's palm, the rule spiritual bead's power was released, almost shattering his arm. That power was simply too terrifying. I was worried you wouldn't be able to catch it. Use the blood soul sacrifice technique. The white tiger warned and said, if I count you in, it should take around 7 to 8 days for you to fuse with a rule spiritual bead. You should be able to catch up to the 3 realms talk. The rule spiritual bead was a hot potato. It was difficult to seal and it was also impossible to put it inside the storage magic treasure. Only by quickly merging with it would it be the safest. Chen Shang came to his room, cut open his palm and forced out a stream of fresh blood. He then let the fresh blood wrap around the rule spiritual bead and released the power of his soul at the same time. Chapter 1043. The 4 walls were all white. When he pressed his hand on one of the walls, he found that the wall actually had the ability to pierce through it, allowing his entire arm to sink into the wall. He immediately stepped into the wall. The moment he stuck his head in, he saw a white space. The other half of his body was still standing there. This is the space laws. Chen Shang was pleasantly surprised. The spatial laws were pretty good. They might be able to allow him to travel through dimensions easily. He had always been vexed about the Luotian Gate's damage. He never thought that he would actually get the profound orb of the spatial laws. When he opened his eyes, he saw that there were actually many black spatial cracks all around him. The tyrannical power of space crazily drilled into his body, as if it was a black evil spirit that wanted to devour him. This caused him to be terrified. This is the power of law. Long Shui shouted, the power of the ancient code is right beside us, it's just that it's difficult to touch it. Streams of black qi surged out from the spatial cracks, and seeped into Chen Zhang's nose, eyes, mouth, ears, and the vital parts of his body. Chen Shang only felt a slight pain in his body, as if many things had forcefully entered his body and were stabbing pains into it. Those were all spirit grain related to space. He now understood, if he wanted to control space as he wished, he would need to familiarize himself with these spirit grain, and at this time, because of the rule spiritual bead, he was able to extract these lost spirit grains from space and integrate them into his own body and soul. Take out the philosophic stone and take a look. Bai Yu thought for a while and replied. Chen Shang immediately took it out and held it in his hand, and at this time, more and more lost spirit grain flowed into his body. Although he did not know whether it was beneficial for him or not, at the moment, he could tell that the effects of this philosophic stone was not small. In this state, Chen Shang unknowingly passed through the 9th day. He had already completely merged with the rule spiritual bead. His strength did not increase by much, but he felt that his comprehension of space had deepened by a level. He felt that he should be able to travel a short distance in space. There were countless lost spirit grain in his mind. If he wanted to use the power of the spatial laws, then he would have to activate those spirit grains. The more he used the power of the spatial laws, the stronger they would be, and the stronger he would be able to traverse those hard spaces. Chen Shang stood inside the door and with a thought, activated the spirit grain. Taking a step forward, he entered the Great Hall. Seeing that Chen Shang had arrived in this way, they all understood that Chen Zhang's rule spiritual beads were the spatial laws. It's really exhausting, Chen Shang exclaimed. Just that little distance has already caused me to consume so much energy. White Tiger smiled. Of course, now that DTN's space is gradually increasing, it's not a joke. It's already pretty good that you can use your own power to travel through space, but you need to know that your current strength is minuscule compared to these stable spaces. Senior, what are the rules within your rule spiritual bead? Chen Shang asked curiously. Law of darkness. I am quite satisfied with it. It suits me quite well. It can absorb the power of light. Hee. At this moment, the White Tiger was extremely happy. Long ago, it had been envious of those who could comprehend the laws. He never thought that after his rebirth, he would be able to control a law so quickly. I want to see what it is like. Chen Zhang's eyes lit up. The power of the ancient code was indeed strong. The White Tiger shook its head and said, if I use my power, I'm afraid it will cause quite a bit of commotion. Chen Shang looked at Li Baojun and asked, Elder Li, where are your laws of fire? Li Baojun laughed. It's also very strong. I'm worried that I won't be able to control it and I'll burn the entire city. The law of fire can make my flames even stronger, and at the same time, let me not be afraid of any powerful flames, and also let my flames not be controlled by anyone, so even water can't do anything to me. Of course, there are still a lot of uses to it, and I can't fully display my current strength. Quote. The three of them had all obtained rule spiritual beads that they were satisfied with, and all of them were overjoyed. The rule spiritual bead were so powerful, no wonder those fellows wanted to snatch them, but they were all exterminated. I'm afraid that it will be very difficult to see another rule spiritual bead in the future. Chen Shang laughed. The White Tiger nodded. When you were fusing with the rule spiritual bead, you should have felt that the power of the ancient code was right by our side. At that time, it let me comprehend a trace of the profound meaning of the ancient code. Chen Shang and the other two had isolated themselves for so many days to fuse with rule spiritual bead, but outside, people were already panicking. This was because the matter of the White Tiger killing Ling Feng had caused fear in many people, especially those ancient powers. Although the White Tiger was powerful, Chen Shang could tell that the White Tiger was wary of him. It was afraid of a mysterious power, so he did not dare to reveal his true strength. Chen Shang and the other two were in the hall discussing about the power of the ancient code. Until late in the night, when they were about to rest, they suddenly heard a deafening roar, towards which Chen Shang and the White Tiger were not unfamiliar. It was the roar of a dragon, a real dragon. It's a royal dragon. From the sound of it, it should be from the sacred dragon bloodline. The White Tiger's expression changed as it hurriedly walked out of the hall. Chen Shang anxiously asked Long Shui, what is the background of the sacred dragon bloodline? The Dragon Emperor's bloodline has always been the sacred dragon's bloodline since ancient times, but as white dragons are not weaker than them, and the jade dragons are also stronger than them. It's just that they have the most number of Dragon Emperor, so they can lead the Imperial Dragon race. Dragon Emperor. The strongest existence in the Imperial Dragon race. Chen Shang had been listening to Long Shui talk all day about becoming a Dragon Emperor, but there really was one. Yes, I think it should be an existence as powerful as the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. It's just that the current Dragon Emperor only appeared after the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, and DTN also doesn't exist, that's why he didn't call himself Emperor. However, I think that he should be making his move soon. HMPH, sooner or later, I will trample this Dragon Emperor to death. I am the real Dragon Emperor. Long Shui seemed to hate the sacred dragon bloodline a lot. However, it was no wonder that if the white dragon was not weak and fought the holy dragon for the throne, there would definitely be a conflict. Chapter 1044. The white tiger looked at the sky. It was currently late at night, but the distant sky was illuminated by a golden cloud. That golden light was incredibly divine, making people feel as if it was a divine light that looked down on the world. It really is the sacred dragon bloodline, but it looks like it's a small dragon. The white tiger let out a sigh of relief. I thought it was that old holy dragon that came down. Senior, can't you beat that old holy dragon? Was extremely surprised. The white tiger and the azure dragon were existences of the same generation, and it was said that the azure dragon was the patriarch of the imperial dragon race. The white tiger shook its head. You know that I haven't completely recovered my strength. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. The corner of Chen Zhang's mouth twitched. His strength had not completely recovered, but he had become so powerful. The peak level strength of this big white cat is quite terrifying. Back then, my white dragon ancestor had witnessed the big white cat and the azure dragon ancestor fight. In my inherited memories, they were evenly matched. The white tiger said, if there is a holy dragon coming down suddenly, it's very likely that it's because the news of you casting the primal chaos dragon curse has already spread to the heaven realm. Chen Shang used the primal chaos dragon curse to attack the sacred sacrificed altar. Those ancient powers informed the big shots in the heaven realm about this matter, and those big shots definitely knew that it was a primal chaos dragon curse. Before, when Chen Shang had activated the heavenly dragon seal, it had already made the imperial dragon race suspicious, but back then, they felt that it was not necessary to investigate it thoroughly. But it was different now. The primal chaos dragon curse was the only powerful dragon in the imperial dragon race that had the chance to obtain the inheritance of the primal chaos dragon curse. Generally speaking, small dragons with imperial karmic luck would be able to receive the inheritance of the chaotic dragon curse. But now, it was a human who was displaying it, not to mention the fact that this human was also holding onto Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword, and was cultivating Taiji Dragon Suppressed Kung Fus and Heaven Earth Killing Method S. This made Imperial Dragon race feel threatened. It had to be known that only the Dragon Emperor and the Dragon Prince of Imperial Dragon race knew how to use the Primal Chaos Dragon curse. The Holy Dragon has descended, and this place has dragon veins. As the most noble dragon in the Imperial Dragon race, they have even more of an excuse to snatch the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword S. Do you think we still need to reveal our identities to join the Three Realms talk? At that time, Imperial Dragon race will definitely know that you know how to use the Primal Chaos Dragon curse. The White Tiger asked. Of course, why not? I've killed dragons and all that sort of thing, but this is the first time I've killed a holy dragon. Chen Zhang's eyes flashed with killing intent. As the leader, how can he live up to his name if he doesn't kill a holy dragon? He actually wanted to kill the holy dragon. This would definitely infuriate the old holy dragon. Yes, that's it. If I'm not mistaken, that guy should be the Dragon King. At that time, this old lady will personally come out and take care of this fellow who will fight with me for the throne in the future. Long Shui shouted angrily from inside the ring. No, if it really is the Prince Imperial Dragon, then let me kill it. Chen Shang said. No, I will kill. Long Shui shouted. It's the same for me if I kill him. Don't look out for him. Chen Shang laughed. With that bit of strength of yours, you are too weak. If you don't borrow my strength, you definitely won't be able to defeat me. Let me handle it. This is the decisive battle between the juniors of our Imperial Dragon race. Long Shui said. Being ruthlessly looked down upon by this little naughty dragon, Chen Shang was even more unable to show weakness. When the time comes, I definitely do not need to borrow your power to get rid of that Prince Imperial Dragon by myself. If it was a normal dragon, many people would definitely chase after it to kill it, because the Imperial Dragon race would not care about it. But if the Imperial Dragon race's dragon was killed, that was equivalent to piercing through the sky, and many powerful old fellows could tell that the dragon that appeared today came from the imperial dragon race. The golden cloud in the sky disappeared and the white tiger said, "Tomorrow, 3 realms talk should be able to see this dragon. Holy dragon, sacred sacrificed altar, 3 realms talk really did make a big move." Quote. Chen Shang was still tormenting himself as to how strong he would be if he could unleash his full strength. He thought about slaughtering a holy dragon with his own strength, without relying on Long Shui's strength. The sky gradually brightened. Chen Shang opened his eyes with a trace of astonishment on his face, because he clearly felt that the space had become extremely hard. This meant that DTN's space had suddenly become very firm today, and today was the day the 3 realms talk began. Don't tell me that those ancient powers specially arranged them for this day. Did they know that DTN's space will become stronger today? Chen Shang was very suspicious. When he walked out of the room, Baihu and Li Baojun followed him into the hall. After DTN entered the growth stage, the space was completely sealed. In other words, other than those who just crossed the 9 nirvana tribulations and were dragged to the heaven realm, no one else was able to leave or enter this place. The white tiger said, "Those ancient powers actually knew that it was on this day. They definitely have other intentions for arranging the 3 realms talk as today. So you're saying that those strong guys in the heaven realm are also unable to come down?" Li Baojun asked. That's right. Most likely, many ancient powers sent a large group of people to strengthen the foundation they have in DTN last night. The Imperial Dragon race will definitely bring down a lot of dragons too. Although DTN does not have the status that he did in the past, but now that the clouds have risen again, the various powers have already started to occupy the land in DTN. The white tiger said. Chen Shang looked into the sky, his expression extremely unsatisfied. These fellows are too shameless. If they were to come down from the heaven realm, wouldn't the local forces be suppressed by them? Or subdued by them? Quote. Wouldn't it be fine if we just annihilate them? Isn't that what your dragon subduing school wants to do? The white tiger laughed. Chen Shang took out a sign and said, "Right now, we will use our original appearances to participate in the 3 realms talk. There is still some distance between here and the meeting place. At that time, you guys should be responsible for cleaning up the people who want to take action against us." Hee, my strength is just like that, you know that. Quote. Li Baojun laughed. "I will make my move. If I cannot take it, the great clan elder will attack again. Now you cannot expose the great clan elder's strength." Quote. After Li Baojun integrated with the rule's spiritual bead, his strength must have risen sharply. Chen Shang felt that if not for this fellow, Hong Kong, he would be able to handle this situation. Let's go. That holy dragon will definitely join the 3 realms talk. The ancient powers will probably go and curry favor with this guy, and then there will be a conflict. But leader, you had best not do anything. Leave everything to me and Elder Li. The white tiger said. Today's 3 realms talk was extremely important to them, because this was the day where they would completely beat up the reputation of the dragon subduing school, and also the day that they would expose that the dragon subduing school was him, Chen Shang. The 3 of them displayed their original appearances and arrived at a large road, walking towards the huge palace in the distance. Chapter 1045. Chen Shang and the other 2 were very eye-catching as they walked through the empty streets. Although the white tiger's appearance was extremely ordinary, its figure was tall and lofty. Its eyes emitted an absolutely terrifying light, causing people to not dare to look straight at it. Li Baojun smiled, holding the flickering red Kylan fan in his hand. It pierced the eyes of many people, all the way while it burned their body and mind, making them feel terrified. There was even less of a need to talk about Chen Shang. His appearance had long been deeply imprinted in people's hearts. Finding someone who did not know him was extremely difficult. His current bounty was so high that it was scary, thus many people looked at his portrait 9 to 5 days ago, trying to remember it. However, most of them didn't want to capture him for the reward and remember his appearance. They just wanted to avoid provoking this fiend and avoid him as long as they saw him, lest it bring about a fatal disaster. Isn't taking the Kylan fan the dragon subduing school's Elder Li? He seems to be the one in charge of the dragon subduing Dan Hall, and the other middle-aged man seems to be the great clan elder of the dragon subduing school. Could it be that Chen Shang is also from the dragon subduing school? Furthermore, you have a very high position in the dragon subduing school. Quote. It's said that Sky Dragon had descended last night because of 3 realms talk. I never thought that dragon subduing school would also come, and it's even Chen Shang as the representative. Now we're going to watch. Let's keep going. All the people in Dragon Subduing School are targets of those ancient powers. The people on both sides of the street quickly dodged, and this matter quickly reached the ears of the big heads of the major forces. Chen Shang represented Dragon Subduing School, and even brought 2 elders of the Dragon Subduing School with him. Those big shots thought that the people from the Dragon Subduing School would come and cause trouble, but they never thought that it was actually Chen Shang who brought the people here. Before, Chen Shang had killed Zutianzi and the powerful Purple Moon in a high profile in the Heaven Thunder Purgatory, and then killed Heaven Thunder Devil Lord. One must know that Heaven Thunder Devil Lord was considered as a guardian by those traitors. Many of the big heads immediately thought of the day when the sacred sacrificed altar was attacked by the primal chaos dragon curse, and thought that it was very possible that Chen Shang had hidden himself to attack. Now that the holy dragon of the imperial dragon race had come down, it was precisely for this moment that Chen Shang had appeared. Someone's coming, leave this little one to me. If I can't beat him, Elder Li, then you can attack. Chen Shang, who was in the air, could see a large group of people rushing over from all directions. Before long, the roofs on both sides of the street were filled with people. These people were originally going to participate in the Three Realms talk, but they were all attracted by the 2 elders and Chen Shang. Chen Shang, you're actually from the Dragon Subduing School. You should not be showing yourself so arrogantly right now. The reason the Imperial Dragon Race's Dragon King descended upon the Heaven Realm last night was because he was aiming for you. LV Qinlian's voice was full of reproach because she did not want to become enemies with the Imperial Dragon Race, but she could not help Chen Shang either. If Chen Shang had been attacked today, based on the friendship between her and Chen Shang, she would definitely intervene. Big Sis Lu, don't worry, to be honest, I am a leader of the Dragon Subduing School. I am here today for the Crown Prince of the Imperial Dragon Race. If he dares attack me, I will kill him and establish my authority. Chen Zhang's voice was full of dominance, causing him to be stunned. Chen Shang sealed the divine sense C and did not receive other people's sound transmissions, continuing to advance along with the White Tiger and Li Baojun. A burst of purple light suddenly appeared in front of them, and over 10 people dressed in purple robes blocked their way. Their faces revealed fierce expressions, with weapons in their hands. The first to attack was actually Purple Moon Imperial Land. Huang Jintian and the others also received the news that Chen Shang had appeared, but Huang Jintian was not worried at all. He brought Jiyu Dongchen and the others into the competition grounds. What are you doing here? A middle-aged man from Purple Moon Imperial Land asked with a stern voice. We are here to participate in the Three Realms Talks competition. Here is our order badge. Chen Shang took out the recommendation badge from Zuo Junxuan. HMPH, you can tell at a glance that it was stolen. The man from the Purple Moon Imperial Land sneered. I gave it to him. Why not? Zuo Junxuan, who was at the side, said coldly, does your Purple Moon Imperial Land not recognize the sects that my Devil Subduing College approves? Li Baojun took a step forward, and shouted, get out of the way, and use your weapon to face us, don't blame me for being rude. The Purple Moon Imperial Land suffered a huge loss at the hands of Chen Shang, and also suffered a huge loss in front of the Dragon Subduing City. On that day when they attacked the Dragon Subduing City, they lost a lot of experts, and thinking about it now, they felt a pain in their hearts, and their strongest, Ling Feng, had also been killed by someone not long ago. Chen Shang, you and the ancient forces like us are irreconcilable. Don't even think about joining the Three Realms Talk today, Ascent AA. So long-winded. Li Baojun raised the Kylan fan in his hand and ferociously swung it. A fiery red astral wind surged out and stirred up a wave of fire, which swept forward like a bolt of lightning. Boom, boom, boom. The fire wave instantly struck the Purple Moon Imperial Land's people. The extremely terrifying fire energy frantically drilled into their bodies, and then exploded inside, causing their souls to be destroyed, leaving not even their remains. Those who have enmity with the Dragon Subduing School, or those who have enmity with the leader, just come forward. We will accompany you to the end. Li Baojun's voice was calm and transmitted in all directions, but when the rest heard it, they were extremely shocked. They could already tell that Chen Shang was Dragon Subduing School. The Dragon Fountain was actually obtained by Chen Shang. Then, Chen Shang created the Dragon Subduing School. Now, they understood why the Dragon Subduing School would go against those ancient powers time and time again, because the Dragon Subduing School was created by Chen Shang. However, many people still could not understand how Chen Shang managed to create such a powerful city. Isn't it just using the resources at hand to rope in some experts? Your own strength is only that much. A charming woman dressed in a purple dress slowly landed on the ground like a leaf. When this incomparably beautiful woman in a purple dress appeared, many men stared at her with dazed eyes. Could guess that the purple-dressed woman was probably the heavenly daughter of the Purple Moon Imperial Land, called Jing Shuangzi. She was incomparably beautiful, and her every move carried a charming and gentle charm. Oh, if my strength is only that much, then wouldn't your leader, who is known to be at the pinnacle of strength, be beheaded by me? I also killed your traitor's master, Heaven Thunder Devil Lord. Your master died miserably in my hands. What right do you, a bunch of dog slaves, have to belittle me in front of me? Chen Shang activated his innate qi, purposely speaking loudly so that his voice would reverberate in the sky. You idiots shouldn't belittle me now, because that would only lower yourselves. When you mock me, why don't you think about how many years you've suffered at my hands? I am the most qualified one to laugh at you all. Quote. Chapter 1046. Yue sent AA. Upon hearing Chen Zhang's words, Jing Shuangzi became speechless. His momentum immediately weakened a lot as he said, HMPH, today I will take you down. Take me down and claim my credit, right? I'm truly a mediocre commoner. With such a strong desire, I've lost my face for nothing. Chen Shang laughed in ridicule. They all knew that Li Baojun was not someone to be trifled with, and since Chen Shang was strong enough to be able to kill Heaven Thunder Devil Lord, they also knew that their great clan elder was someone they could not see through. All the big shots in Purple Moon Imperial Land had died, and the people of Purple Moon Imperial Land had not thought that their unity would stabilize but instead wanted to fight for the position of leader. Especially Tian knew, because she was a beauty with extraordinary strength, her prestige was very high, and she was also sought after and supported by many. She felt that if she could defeat Chen Shang, the position of leader would belong to her. That's only you using an evil technique. Today, I will let your evil technique be exposed so that the world can see your true appearance. Two purple long swords appeared, transforming into two purple clouds that pierced towards Chen Zhang's throat and one of his eyes. Chen Shang carried his hands behind his back, and two fire dragons surged out from his eyes. Facing the two swords, the fire dragons swallowed and spat out flames, accurately putting the two swords into their mouths. As the flames disappeared, the two treasured swords had already turned to dust. I use an evil technique. But I didn't enslave rogue cultivators to work hard in the Heaven Thunder Purgatory, right? I didn't steal the storage bag of a rogue cultivator, right? Instead, I saved them, but the Heavenly Emperor of Ziyu angered you. He wanted to kill me, but his skills were inferior to others and he was killed. Who can you blame? Quote. Bull**T. Jing Shuangzi was infuriated, his treasured sword had actually disappeared in an instant. Today, I will definitely capture you all. Boasting shamelessly, Chen Shang sneered. Jing Shuangzi gritted his teeth and suddenly took out a huge purple rock. Upon closer inspection, it looked very much like a stone tablet with many ancient spirit grain carved on it. It's the Purple Moon Sacred Tablet, it's actually in the hands of this little girl. There is an ancient jade in the Tongtian aristocratic family, and there is a sacred tablet in the Sheng domain. They are all very powerful things. At this moment, Jing Shuangzi's confidence soared and his face was filled with pride. Having obtained this item, meant that she had gained the leader's favor. In front of the sacred tablet, you have no power to resist. Jing Shuangzi's jade face turned cold as she activated the power within the sacred tablet. Her long hair danced wildly, and her jade face was heavy. Her beautiful eyes glowed with a purple light as her body overflowed with purple light. Right at this time, the sky suddenly darkened, a purple moon hung high up in the sky, the purple light released by the purple moon all gathered on Chen Shang and the others. Seal! Jing Shuangzi shouted, and that round of purple moon's rays of light exploded forth. A large purple formation appeared, and a purple and profound spirit grain flashed with a blinding light. The terrifying pressure caused many people to feel slightly frightened. The purple array formation seemed like it was going to destroy the earth. It smashed down fiercely from above Chen Shang and the others' heads. Great Mountain River Formation. Chen Shang stamped his foot on the ground, causing the ground to tremble violently, and the powerful innate qi in his body surged like a flood into the sky. The vast divine power arrived along with it, and in the dark sky suddenly appeared a mountain and river picture that was tens of thousands of meters long, with countless large rivers surging and surging torrents like the roar of thunder. The power of the mountains and rivers shook the world, concealing the stars and moon, completely displaying the might of the earth, intimidating all the living beings in this world. No matter how powerful the Saint Tablet was, the person who used it did not use all of his power. The power of the formation was greatly reduced, as though a purple moon had been blocked by the mountain and river diagram that Chen Shang had released. Jing Shuangzi's expression was serious. His purple skirt and black hair were wildly dancing, and the sacred monument in front of his chest was emitting a purple light. She was using the purple moon diagram to confront Chen Shang. It's just an adaptation of the celestial slain method, there's nothing to be proud of. Chen Shang saw through some of them, and the qi on his body immediately soared. Innate qi erupted, like a dragon erupting from his body, it soared up and danced in the sky. Great void stellar seal, and it. Above the purple moon array, there were suddenly dozens of phantoms of giant stars. These phantoms of stars formed a large array and their strength was even stronger, flashing with multicolored light. As they swirled and fell, the rich power of the stars roiled and surged, falling from the sky, smashing the purple moon until it exploded and dissipated in the sky. The appearance of the great void star seal greatly changed the complexions of many of the giants. Jing Shuang, seeing this incomparably powerful star seal crushing down with unstoppable force, felt an incomparable surge of fear, but it was already too late. The great void stellar seal turned into a big hand in the air. The big hand was made up of numerous star shadows, carrying an earth-shattering power as it pressed down towards Jing Shuangzi. Boom! A deafening sound rang out. Jing Shuangzi was completely enveloped by the giant handprint. In the midst of the rumbling sounds of destruction, he was turned to ash. At the same time, the green dragon demon-slaying broadsword appeared in Chen Zhang's hands. He flew over and slashed at the purple moon divine tomb on the ground. Brat, don't be too arrogant. Brother Han, let's capture them together. The one who spoke was Feng Quan, an expert of the Feng clan. Hong Kong was the same, he was a ranker sent by the Flying Immortal School. Feng clan, do you want to join hands? If you two were to make a move against me, you would be the first one dragon subduing school will kill. Chen Shang looked at the two rankers fearlessly. Who do you think you are? So what if he said he would wipe out? Hong Kong jumped down and stood by Chen Zhang's side. Chen Shang controlled the dragon vein, what would happen if he killed Chen Shang? Feng Quan shouted, stop talking nonsense with him, attack. Chen Shang and Li Baojun looked at each other. They knew that it was not their turn to take action now, so they just stood there, not moving. Feng Quan was like the wind as he rushed towards the white tiger. The berserk energy on his palm struck the air at an extremely fast speed, causing waves of explosions. To be able to attack a white tiger, wasn't that just looking for death? Chen Shang and Li Baojun sighed in their hearts. The white tiger had not acted this entire time, but its expression was indifferent as it watched from the side. Now that there were two such powerful people attacking them, Chen Shang and Li Baojun definitely could not handle it. They're dead for sure now. A person sighed. Feng Quan's palm was extremely terrifying. Just the force of the impact was enough to split the entire street, and just as it was about to crush the white tiger's head, the white tiger's palm suddenly extended and actually wanted to receive it with its own palm. You're courting death. Feng Quan felt that the white tiger's actions were very imaginable. The power in his palm became even more berserk at that moment, and he exchanged blows with the white tiger. The two palms collided. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of bones breaking resounded like a cannonball. Feng Quan let out a miserable scream, and at the same time, his body flew backwards. Chapter 1047. He raised his palm towards Feng Quan who was flying towards the end of the street, and a burst of strong golden light suddenly gushed out of his palm. The golden light turned into a furious golden dragon, and let out a dragon's roar that shook the skies, and like lightning, penetrated Feng Quan's body. With a boom, Feng Quan's body exploded. When the crowd saw this scene, the shock in their hearts was hard to describe. Everyone looked at the white tiger, although he looked ordinary, he was actually so powerful. Judging from his expression, killing Feng Quan was as easy as mowing grass, he didn't even blink. LV Qinlian's forehead was covered in sweat, she suddenly felt that the white tiger was the person that she was afraid of back then in the Golden Yang building, the person who was also the one who had killed many experts at the auction. This person was actually together with Chen Shang, and he was an elder of the dragon subduing school. Hong Kong looked at the white tiger in fear, his body trembling. He knew that the person in front of him could kill Feng Quan easily, or even kill him easily. The white tiger looked at Hong Kong, its two eyes suddenly turning pitch black. Hong Kong screamed miserably, as he fell to the ground with his eyes wide open. Being glanced at and dying, many of the big shots from the ancient powers looked as terrified as Hong Kong, who was already dead. They all escaped towards the location of the Three Realms talk, because they believed that the Imperial Dragon race would definitely be able to stop the three terrifying people there. After Hong Kong fell to the ground, his body suddenly turned pitch black, as if he had been soaked in ink. Then, it turned dark again and disappeared. Chen Xiang and Li Baojun were overwhelmed with shock. They knew that these were definitely the laws of darkness, yet these mysterious laws of darkness could even destroy corpses and erase traces. There were many big shots sitting on their seats, their faces were gloomy and uncertain, some big shots had terrified faces. The appearance of the dragon subduing school was truly unexpected for them, especially the great clan elder, whose strength was out of the ordinary. With just a few moves, he had killed 2 Heaven Realm rankers. His golden dragon robe had already proven his identity. He sat there, looking at a book with a gentle gaze, and although he already knew about the dragon subduing school's situation, he was definitely not worried. Furthermore, the book he was reading right now had a lot of information regarding Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang, Bai Hu and Li Baojun had arrived, and there were no longer any empty seats. Chen Xiang glanced around the conference hall. There were many tables here. The square table only had 4 people, and these 4 people were all big shots from a different force. Behind the big shots were either some younger generation members or some elders. If one looked carefully, they would realize that it wasn't useless. There were still 3 seats in front of the Prince Imperial Dragon. That Prince Imperial Dragon took a table for himself, and he didn't allow anyone else to sit. Seeing Chen Xiang lock onto that table, everyone was shocked. Many people in the hall gasped slightly. They were now certain that Chen Xiang was the one who cast the Primal Chaos Dragon curse, and that the Prince Imperial Dragon was here for Chen Xiang. Chen Xiang glanced at Huang Jintian and the others' table. Huang Jintian, Lu Meng'er, Lian Mingdong, and the other leaders who represented a certain power sat at it. And Ji Yu Dongchen, on the other hand, followed along and stood behind Huang Jintian. Leng Yulin was incomparably cold and gorgeous, with a head of white hair that made her look even more beautiful. Shui Shenxian was like a fairy from a painting, extraordinary and refined. Her face carried a tender and gentle smile, and the 2 junior sisters stood behind Lu Meng'er. Chen Xiang did not expect that Wu Qianchen would also be here. Although the former number 1 beauty of the super martial school had an ordinary background, she had met with numerous fortuitous encounters, and was also the successor to the Dan Fragrance Pure Land. Unlike Leng Yulin and Shui Shenxian, she wore plain clothes, but her unique temperament made people feel that she was untainted by the mortal world. Wu Qianchen and Dongfang Xinyue had followed Hua Shangyu here, but they did not look at Chen Xiang. They were worried that others would discover the relationship between them and Chen Xiang. However, at this time, a pure and beautiful sweet lady stuck her tongue out at Chen Xiang. That girl was Dongfang Jing from the Dongfang family, and was a very foolish girl. The many familiar faces that sat there made Chen Xiang sob. He had looked up to these experts in the past, but now, he felt that it was nothing more than that. When Chen Xiang appeared, the atmosphere was even more oppressive, especially when Chen Xiang was getting closer and closer to the Prince Imperial Dragon. "Which power do you belong to?" An old man stood up and asked. This old man was a Jinyang Sheng realm powerhouse. "I am a leader of the Dragon Subduing School. This is my recommendation jade token." Chen Xiang raised the jade plate in his hand, but no one cared about the jade plate. Everyone was shocked by his identity. He was really Dragon Subduing School. Big Bro has been making a living for a long time, but he actually didn't take care of this little sister of mine. Even the limelight has been blown away by him. Leng Yulin sent a sound transmission to Shui Shenxian and the others. She wished that she could join Chen Zhang's group. "Stupid girl, don't tell me you didn't do well just by following me," Lu Meng'er scolded. Although the atmosphere was stifling, many people were secretly whispering to each other. "Master Ancestor, you actually always knew that my master was leader," Ji Yu Dongchen muttered. "This guy is obviously here to cause trouble. I never thought that Dragon Subduing School's leader would actually run into a dragon." Huang Jintian laughed. Lian Yingxiao could not help but laugh bitterly. "My son was dragged onto the boat by him." Golden Sun Saint Realm and Chen Xiang did not have any direct conflicts. At this moment, they knew that the great clan elder from Dragon Subduing School was very powerful. He had exterminated both Hong Kong and Feng Quan outside, so the big shot did not say anything. He just watched as Chen Xiang walked towards the seat of the Prince Imperial Dragon. Hong Kong, Feng Quan, and Ling Feng were already absent, so they only had 3 empty seats at Prince Imperial Dragon. The Prince Imperial Dragon sat gracefully as he read his book, but his entire body still carried a tyrannical aura. His dazzling golden dragon robe made Long Shui despise him ruthlessly within the ring. Behind Prince Imperial Dragon, there were two other people. They were two tall and sturdy men with powerful facial features, their bodies overflowing with dragon chi. One look was all it took to tell that they were two dragons, but they were only the followers of Prince Imperial Dragon. Many of the great leaders could see that the two dragons under his command were much stronger than the Prince Imperial Dragon. They were in charge of protecting the Prince Imperial Dragon. There are 3 spots. Chen Shang smiled slightly. Only the big shots could sit on their seats. The 3 men from Dragon Subduing School actually wanted to take all 3 seats. How tyrannical was that? Who are you? Do you think you are qualified to sit together with Prince Imperial Dragon? A big fellow said. His voice was like thunder, shaking the entire hall. A conflict was about to break out. Everyone stood up and retreated to the side of the gate, lest a great battle be affected. Chapter 1048. Prince Imperial Dragon calmly sat there and read his book. He did not even bat an eyelid, as if the things surrounding him had nothing to do with him. He looked extremely noble. Seeing him like that, Long Shui angrily wanted to slap him a few times. We are not things, we are here to participate in the 3 realms talk, but who are you? What does the matters of humanity have to do with you guys? Chen Shang replied calmly. You ignorant fool, our Imperial Dragon race is the strongest of the 9 heavens and 10 earth. Our Dragon Emperor will soon rule the 9 heavens and 10 earth, becoming the new emperor. The big-sized man looked at Chen Shang angrily. Wait until he becomes the new great emperor, then we'll see. Isn't he still not here? I am a leader of the Dragon Subduing School, I have come here to participate in the 3 realms talk for our own matters. Chen Shang said. You dare call yourselves dragons? The other man laughed loudly. Have you killed a dragon before? I've killed quite a few. I can't even remember how many dragons I've killed. His words caused many people to deeply doubt him. Only Long Shui knew clearly that the words of the White Tiger were true. The battle clan of the Big White Cat was the natural enemy of the Imperial Dragon race. I've killed one too. Chen Shang laughed, his body trembled, and released a chi, causing Prince Imperial Dragon's hand to tremble. Dragon Slaying Chi. It is a unique aura that only exists after killing a dragon. Huang Jintian said. Everyone was shocked. Chen Shang had really slayed dragons before. After a slight shock, the man said, you only killed a few wild dragons, which is far inferior to our Emperor Dragon. It's nothing. Chen Shang laughed out loud. So that means, the reason you 3 Emperor Dragons appeared here is for me to cut them down. Great. After saying that, he sat down on a chair. You are courting death if you dare to sit here recklessly. The man roared and struck towards Chen Shang with his palm. His arm turned into a red dragon claw and the flames from the dragon power were extremely terrifying. The entire hall was suddenly as hot as a furnace. At the same time, the White Tiger also extended a dragon claw, but it was a black one that was filled with terrifying killing intent. The moment the White Tiger attacked, that killing intent immediately swept away the heat in the hall. When the White Tiger's black dragon claw reached out, it was like a terrifying black hole that swallowed everything. When the fire dragon claw came into contact with the black dragon claw, it was like an ice cube touching a flame, melting instantly. How reckless! The White Tiger's dragon claw suddenly grew larger, pressing the burly man into the ground, pressing him into the center of the claw. The burly man didn't even have time to shout before he disappeared. The other burly man's expression changed. The Prince Imperial Dragon stood up with an angry and shocked expression. He looked at the White Tiger and asked solemnly, who are you? The great clan elder of the Dragon Subduing School. Then, he sat down with Li Baojun. Now it was Chen Zhang's turn to remain calm as he sat there. Seeing how the White Tiger suppressed the strong, he became even more desperate for power. Out of the 2 dragons brought down by the Prince Imperial Dragon, one of them had actually died without even leaving a trace. Huang Jintian took a deep breath and said, just now, it was a very strong dragon slaying chi. This great clan elder of the Dragon Subduing School has indeed killed many dragons. Let the 3 realms talk begin, I want to see what tricks you all have in mind. Chen Shang said, then took out his green dragon demon slain broadsword and placed it on the table. The eyes of many people lit up when they saw the divine blade. They all wished that they could snatch it for themselves. This is my Imperial Dragon race's divine weapon, it has returned to its rightful owner. Prince Imperial Dragon's hand moved like lightning, grabbing towards the hilt, but it caught onto empty air because the green dragon demon slain broadsword had instantly disappeared. Chen Shang laughed. I heard that the 3 realms talk wanted me to hand over the green dragon demon slain broadsword. Let me tell you this right now, if you want my blade, you have to kill me first. This blade does not belong to your Imperial Dragon race. If you want to snatch it, then you should know the consequences. Chen Shang looked at the book in his hands. The Prince Imperial Dragon calmed down, then sat down and looked at Chen Shang and the White Tiger. He now had to look at the dragon subduing school from a new perspective. He previously thought that this dragon subduing school was just a joke. He thought that he could solve it after bringing two powerful dragons down, but who would have thought that one of them died just now? Everyone returned to their seats. The strength of the White Tiger had completely intimidated the Prince Imperial Dragon, and the conflict could not occur again. This was because the dragon subduing school had complete and total strength to destroy the Prince Imperial Dragon. What we are discussing today is the peace of the third region, but this has nothing to do with this dragon. He's not from this world, so it seems like he's here to cause trouble. Huang Jintian said. Yeah, just now, they said that they would rule over the 9 heavens and the 10 earth. Isn't that destroying the peace? The patriarch of the blue blood race, Lan Guang said. This person only wanted to sit down but wanted to take his life. The Golden Sun Saint Realm leader was a yellow-haired old man wearing a golden robe. He stood up and said, the main reason is because of the various powers seizing the territory and resources. Currently, the resources of the demon realm and our human realm are relatively small, so we need the powers of our human realm to give them a fair share. The patriarch of the devil race said. Although we are a large power in the devil realm, we can at most control our own people and not cause trouble. If the other devil cultivators do not have the resources to cultivate, and attack the human realm, this is not our business. Then doesn't the dragon subduing school have a dragon vein? That is a super crystal mine. One of them sneered. No matter how big the dragon veins are in my dragon subduing school, they are still unable to compare to the mines occupied by your Sheng domain family. If we add them all up, the combined strength of your Spirite vein is far greater than the power of my dragon subduing school's dragon veins, do you think? Chen Shang glanced at that person. It was a member of the Ying family. The demon realm does not lack resources. Furthermore, half of the spirit demons are in our demon realm, half of the spirit demons are in our demon realm, but we do not have any relationship with the evil demon, so it is easy for the powerful evil demon to incite them, and giving them resources is useless. LV Qinlian said. Spirit demons were more tame and could completely change into a human. Evil demon was half human half spirit demon. Our Chen Martial continent does not have much resources, we only have enough for ourselves, and we do not plan on seizing other people's land, but right now, some ancient powers are actually occupying land 1,000 times larger than ours, so for resources, it's fine if we, the small powers, are unable to protect ourselves, but those ancient powers are the ones who say that. You guys don't have many people either, so there must be a lot of Spirite vein here. Give some to Devil Realm and the others. Huang Jintian sighed. Otherwise, if we fight, Demon Realm and the others would definitely not dare to attack the big powers. The suffering is still just because of us, the small forces. Chapter 1049. Everyone looked at each other, especially the big shots of the ancient powers. It seemed like they did not plan to help Devil Realm, but they actually wanted to squeeze them out from those small powers. Why did DTN shatter in the past? Wasn't that the doing of these traitors? Now it should be up to them to compensate for the losses. Back then, when the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord commanded the 9 heavens and 10 earth, that was a prosperous and peaceful place. Duan Kong walked in along with a few other elders of the Duan clan. There were no seats for them here, as if they had already known that something like this would happen. They actually took out a wooden table and placed it at the entrance. The Duan clan was also a Tong Tian aristocratic family. Although they were a thorn in the eye of many ancient powers, they could not deny their strength and their understanding of that piece of history. Right now, these traitors are beginning to occupy the land, also that after DTN forms himself, they can establish themselves as kings. At that time, even if some Imperial Dragon race's Dragon Emperor appears, they won't be able to be cured. They also had even crazier ideas, such as using that sacred sacrificed altar or whatever it is, to open up passages leading to other worlds and bring some powerful guys over here. Quote. Duan Kong's words made many leaders of small forces feel threatened. If these ancient forces were to do this, how would they, these small forces, be able to survive? The sacred sacrificed altar is the only way to settle the peace in the 3 regions. I admit that our ancestors wanted to use the sacred sacrificed altar to bring about destruction to this world, but now, if we want to resolve the conflict between the 3 realms, we have to go through the sacred sacrificed altar. The Qin family's heavyweight said. Oh, why didn't you take out some spars and give them to the demon and devil realms? Instead, you have to rely on the sacred sacrificed altar, who knows what the hell you are doing? Duan Kong said. Chen Shang did not interrupt him when he finally mentioned the sacred sacrificed altar. Although he had always been calmly reading books, when Duan Kong mentioned the sacred sacrificed altar, he was slightly moved. It was obvious that he understood the situation in the sacred sacrificed altar very well. Sacred sacrificed altar can open a path towards a place where our ancestors stored resources. At that time, they knew that DTN was going to be destroyed, so they placed most of DTN's resources at that place. However, there are some people who want to destroy that sacred sacrificed altar. An old man said, and looked at Chen Shang. The fact that Chen Shang used the primal chaos dragon curse to attack the sacred sacrificed altar was confirmed by everyone, although no one saw him do it at the time. This fellow is really patient. He actually didn't ask me about the chaos dragon curse. Long Shui was talking about the Prince Imperial Dragon, so she was thinking about how she should fight with him. The White Tiger said, you are certain that the sacred sacrificed altar has a lot of cultivation resources, and not just a few powerful holy demons. The White Tiger's words made many big shots tremble, even Prince Imperial Dragon's face changed. According to what I know, the sacred sacrificed altar is not a good thing. It is indeed a switch that leads to some dimensions. The White Tiger had already displayed its strength just now, so many people believed his words. Duan Kong laughed coldly. Do you need a very powerful energy to open that sacred sacrificed altar? You said that there are a lot of resources inside, and you said that when we go in later, you might be able to kill us or seal us inside. You ancient powers have always been unpopular, so how can people believe you? Quote, we do need to take out some very important things, but there are a lot of cultivation resources inside. We can swear with our blood, that when it comes to the matter of the sacred sacrificed altar, we will not use any means. The Jin Yongsheng's big brother said. Now that the White Tiger was here, they didn't dare to play any tricks. Furthermore, their tone of voice had become much softer. You have to swear a blood oath, and you have to walk in front. Huang Jintian pondered for a moment, before replying. Then, he sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. Brat, that sacred sacrificed altar can open a door to another space. If they promise, we can give it a try. Quote, some of the powerhouses were currently discussing with others in secret. Senior, if there really is a saint devil or something like that, can you handle it? Chen Shang secretly asked the White Tiger. No problem, I can now control the laws of darkness, my strength has increased by a lot. However, these traitors cannot be completely trusted. The White Tiger said. If the three regions matters were not resolved, the war would break out again soon. When the time came, the only thing the big heads could do was massacre the enemies, especially the devil realm, who was lacking in resources. The evil demon was too savage, and so the big heads could only barely suppress the devil cultivator and the other evil demon. Everyone discussed secretly, and finally reached an agreement. They decided to open up the sacred sacrificed altar, and go to that place that stored a large amount of resources. It was impossible to get the big forces to divide the sporite vein they occupied, and those small forces couldn't do anything to them either. Thus, they could only use this method to compromise, and when they reached that place, they could only rely on their own abilities to obtain the resources. In order to pacify the unstable groups, the big shots of the demon and devil realms had to return to the demon and devil realms and have the leaders send some of their men out to the world to take their resources. And they would go for a period of time as well, because according to the ancient powers, there were a lot of resources stored inside. In addition, the various forces had also informed some of their disciples that they would bring them there. In order to avoid too many people and also having a limited number of people, each force could only send 10 people. Even so, all of the participating three realms talks were very scary, but the majority of the powerhouses were the demon and devil realms because they lacked resources. The agreement to meet in 3 days at sacred sacrificed altar would be over immediately, and the ancient powers would go and arrange things, because they had sent the strongest big shots to lead the group of people there. The Prince Imperial Dragon actually wanted to go as well, but the ancient powers did not stop him. After all, he was from the Imperial Dragon race, and in the future, he might even become a Dragon Emperor. Chen Shang and Prince Imperial Dragon did not clash as expected, they left the moment the meeting ended. However, everyone knew, Prince Imperial Dragon would definitely not let Chen Shang go, but if he angered Chen Shang would not let him go either. It's enough for the three of us to go. If that world is in danger, it'll be easier for the three of us to deal with it. The white tiger tasted the fruit juice Li Baojun made. The other powers will definitely bring some juniors over. When we left, we had already arranged matters for the dragon subduing city, and this was also a chance for those little fellows to hone themselves. Li Baojun said. With Bison there, they will be safe. The white tiger was extremely confident in this white tiger fighting race's patriarch. If Bison was not able to deal with it, he could send out the entire white tiger fighting race. Vote. Chapter 1050. Three Realms talk was not finished, and was just using another method. If the world that sacred sacrificed altar leads to is not solved, then the three realms would still be in trouble in the future. Although Chen Shang had only passed through the four nirvana tribulations, his strength was already shocking to the point of being unparalleled. Adding on the power of the mysterious great clan elder, it made the entire dragon subduing school stronger, causing many people to ask about how to join the dragon subduing school. Heaven Thunder City did not immediately calm down. Originally, many people thought that once Three Realms talks meeting ended, it would become very quiet, but suddenly there were sounds of fighting coming from outside the city. The location of the battle was extremely far from Heaven Thunder City, but the energy fluctuations that exploded out shook the ground and caused Heaven Thunder City to sway slightly. What was worth noting was that the aura was a dragon chi that many big shots were very familiar with. It erupted using the powerful dragon power. At the beginning, many people thought that it was Chen Shang and Prince Imperial Dragon fighting, but in reality, it was not, someone else fighting the Prince Imperial Dragon. This direction seems to be towards the sacred sacrificed altar. Why is the Prince Imperial Dragon going there? The time to open the sacred sacrificed altar is not up yet. Chen Shang said as he followed the white tiger and Li Baojun to sacred sacrificed altar. At that moment, they did not need to change their appearances. With the deterrence from the white tiger before, no one dared to look for trouble because that would mean they were courting death. The sacred sacrificed altar was protected by a few dozen experts from ancient powers, and not far away from the sacred sacrificed altar, Prince Imperial Dragon, who was dressed in a golden dragon robe, was currently fighting with a burly man who was completely naked. His upper body was shining with a golden radiance, making him look like a golden man made of gold. Suddenly, his muscles contained a terrifying and mysterious power, and a violent aura gushed out from his pores one after another, forming a layer of radiance that shrouded his body. The Prince Imperial Dragon was very refined compared to the big-sized man. The big man's attacks were very violent. His pair of thick and long arms were like two terrifying giant golden hammers, smashing towards the Prince Imperial Dragon quickly and fiercely. Although it looked like he was using brute force, if one looked carefully, this kind of chaotic attack was able to suppress the Prince Imperial Dragon a little. Of course, the real strength of the Prince Imperial Dragon was when he had turned into a dragon. In his current human form, his power was not very strong. Why is the power used by this big guy so familiar? Suddenly, the image of a bald youth appeared in Chen Zhang's mind. Great strength races. Although the Prince Imperial Dragon has not used his own strongest power, this great strength race is still useless. Quote. Hearing the white tiger's words, Chen Shang nodded his head. Xiao Chou was his disciple. The last time Xiao Chou used a move that was extremely strong, he had become a huge giant. If the Prince Imperial Dragon became a dragon, then the big-size man from the great strength race would also become a giant, and their strength would also be comparable. At this moment, there weren't many people spectating. Many powerhouses had returned to arrange matters, and only a few rogue cultivators with great strength were allowed to spectate. As far as I know, the great strength race has always been very ununited. If the great strength race was united, then this would be a very powerful force. Li Baojun said. The matters of the great strength race are also very mysterious. Although this group of people are very good at fighting, they aren't stupid at all, and many powers have looked down on their unity for many years. But you all should know, among all the human races, the great strength race is still very strong. The white tiger said. Chen Shang had asked Xiao Chou about some things related to the great strength race before, but Xiao Chou did not say much. However, Xiao Chou had still revealed a lot about the great strength race. For example, the great strength race had once gathered once, maybe they had already gotten back together. Great strength race and Imperial Dragon race have always had a grudge. I wonder what kind of grudge is this? The white tiger actually didn't know about this matter. When Chen Shang was fighting with Xiao Chou before, Long Shui had also mentioned this matter. This grandson shouldn't know anything about the Chaos Dragon curse. Long Shui suddenly said. Why do you say that? Chen Shang asked. The primal Chaos Dragon curse can only be inherited from the Emperor's mandate when a dragon is born. Long Shui said complacently, but this grandson's dad definitely knows how to use the primal Chaos Dragon curse, otherwise he wouldn't dare to call himself Dragon Emperor. You can pass it on to me, but can't his father pass it on to him? Chen Shang looked at the fighting Prince Imperial Dragon in the distance. This Prince Imperial Dragon was indeed very strong. He felt that he was still a distance away from the Prince Imperial Dragon. Then the meaning is different. I was born to understand it. That's why he came down to investigate. If he could kill that dragon, then he will be able to sit firmly on the throne in the future. Long Shui snorted. Wanting to kill my future heavenly dragon Supreme Lord, this grandson is still too tender. Chen Shang really wanted to let Long Shui out right now and let her have a fight with Prince Imperial Dragon. He wanted to see just how strong Long Shui was and how he would call Prince Imperial Dragon his grandson. The attack of the naked man was extremely fierce, but it was clear that he did not plan to fight Prince Imperial Dragon to the death. Both sides had kept a hand in the fight, and now they were only testing each other's strength, but the scene of the battle was extremely shocking. Suddenly, Prince Imperial Dragon's lips moved slightly. He was chanting an incantation, and one look was enough to tell that he was about to use his heavenly dragon seal. Crack! A thunderclap resounded throughout the sky as a streak of lightning split the sky and descended. It instantly struck the body of the burly man with a naked body, directly penetrating through his head. Chen Shang had used this before, but this was specially used to deal with those who wanted to escape from the enemy with extreme speed. Now was not the right time to use the flash dragon punishment. The bald man's hair danced wildly from the hacking, and he suddenly became angry. One of his arms suddenly swelled up more than 10 times, making his body look very uneven, even though his body was also very tall and sturdy. The gigantic arm didn't slow him down in the slightest. With a twist of his body, he actually avoided Prince Imperial Dragon's shining dragon punishment. The gigantic arm was like a gigantic golden hammer, moving so fast that it left an afterimage in the air as it smashed onto Prince Imperial Dragon's head. Boom! Prince Imperial Dragon dodged the attack during the most dangerous moment, and when his fist landed on the ground, the force penetrated deep into the ground, causing it to explode underground, causing the ground to be like a fountain, spouting out a large amount of rock and soil into the sky. All of you stop, don't destroy sacred sacrificed altar. An expert from an ancient faction shouted. Chapter 1051. Everyone was just enjoying themselves, but Prince Imperial Dragon and the Great Strength race stopped. They looked at each other with calm eyes, as if they had no hatred in them at all. There are very few Great Strength races in the Heaven Realm. I never thought that I would meet such an outstanding Great Strength race here. If I have the chance to try again, you and I both know that we can't just go all out and fight them. Prince Imperial Dragon said lightly. That's right. The man nodded. Why don't we go into the city and have a drink? Looking at him, he seemed to be intending to befriend this young ranker from Great Strength race. What surprised Chen Shang was that the burly man from Great Strength race had actually left with him. Haha, this grandson's mastery of Heavenly Dragon Seal is not good, otherwise he would not have used Dragon Flash punishment just now, maybe he only mastered this. Long Shui smiled proudly from within the ring. What's so funny about that? Chen Shang said as his mouth twitched. He knew that the Prince Imperial Dragon would come looking for him sooner or later, because he knew the Primal Chaos Dragon Curse and the Heavenly Dragon Seal, and he also had the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword. Furthermore, the White Tiger had killed one of his followers. As the son of the Dragon Emperor, he doesn't even have the memories of a Heavenly Dragon Seal. And this was even taught to him by his father, but he has it since the moment I was born. Long Shui laughed. The White Tiger shook its head. What exactly is going on with this little demon from Great Strength race? Has always had enmity with him, I can't forget it wrong. Quote. What's that? Maybe something happened in Great Strength race, and I plan to reconcile with him, but there's a high possibility that I'll submit to him. Li Baojun said as he flew towards the Heaven Thunder City. Looks like Great Strength race is going to intervene in this matter. That fellow from before could only be considered a junior in Great Strength race, and the old one should be in Heaven Thunder City. The White Tiger said. When he returned to the Heaven Thunder City, Chen Shang saw the big-sized man who was fighting against the Prince Imperial Dragon. He had changed into a set of extremely clean black clothes, looking like he was rich. "You are Xiao Chao's master?" The big-sized man looked at Chen Shang and asked coldly. "That's right. What's wrong?" Chen Shang never thought that this big-sized man would actually look for him. "It's nothing. Xiao Chou said before that you are the strongest human among the young generation. I will definitely kill you. Because you are Xiao Chao's master, people of our great strength race cannot have a human master. Furthermore, I want to obtain your green dragon demon-slain broadsword." Quote. Hearing that, Chen Shang clenched his fists tightly, and was about to attack. However, the people of great strength race had no intention to fight him, and turned to leave. "I am Xiao Long. I'll give you a little more time to raise your strength to my level. I don't want to kill you so easily." Chen Shang sighed slightly. The people of great strength race were extremely arrogant. He knew that Xiao Chou was the same as the others. This guy belongs to the great strength race, but he has the Imperial Dragon race's bloodline. What's going on? He had also noticed it just now. A great strength race with the bloodline of an Imperial Dragon race. Chen Shang and Long Shui were both shocked. If this was the case, then this Xiao Long must be very strong. Damn it, that little bastard Xiao Chou took me as his master. Why did he kill me? Chen Shang scolded in a low voice. But it's fine too, looks like Xiao Chou did not do well in great strength race. It's all because of this reason that I killed him, and let great strength race and the rest see him. HMPH, those fellows from the great strength race are becoming more and more unyielding. Besides having an arrogant mouth, it's just a fart. Have they forgotten how the sacred dragon lineage suppressed them back then? I never thought that great strength race and I would have a secret relationship. Could it be that we have to lower our heads to Imperial Dragon race? Long Shui said in disdain, "Little scoundrel, why don't this Dragon Emperor take action and deal with both this Prince Imperial Dragon and this Xiao Long? The one being challenged is me, don't cause trouble." Chen Shang didn't care about Xiao Long at all, but he was more concerned about Prince Imperial Dragon because Prince Imperial Dragon knew how to win over people's hearts. He was worried that it wouldn't be long before Prince Imperial Dragon established a very powerful force in DTN. It was already very difficult for Heaven Realm to come here, but Prince Imperial Dragon didn't need to use Nirvana Doom, so they could stay here for a long time. However, Chen Shang was different. After crossing the 9 Nirvana tribulations, he would level up. 3 days passed by quickly, and those that participated in the Three Realms talk had already arrived at the top of Sacred Sacrificed Altar. Other than that, there were also a few leaders of some small forces in the Demon and Devil realms who brought some strong subordinates. Each power could only send 10 people, and most of the ancient powers could only send 10 people. On the other hand, those who were familiar with Chen Shang were somewhat surprised, especially Ji Yu Dongchen and the others. However, Huang Jintian and the other Chen Martial Continent could only bring 2 people with them. That place was unknown how dangerous it was, and Yun Xiaodao and the others had better places to cultivate. Chen Shang did not want to bring them to danger because they were, after all, one of the few people in the dragon subduing school. Great strength race's Xiao Long also came. He followed a tall and big old man and their team also had 10 people. What surprised Chen Shang was that the Prince Imperial Dragon was actually able to gather all 10 of them. Other than him and his follower, the rest were 8 burly men who looked like 8 dragons. Sacred Sacrificed Altar was extremely huge, and even if a lot of people were to stand on it, it would not be crowded. We've already obtained the offerings. Right now, all we need to do is to release our powers together and activate the altar's powers. We can open a space gate and head to the place where our ancestors stored a large amount of DTN's resources. An ancient powers leader said. In the middle of Sacred Sacrificed Altar was a big pit. Those ancient powers had all thrown a few living fierce evil barbarian beasts. There were a lot of them. From now on, everyone just needs to release their own power. The Sacred Sacrificed Altar will absorb your power by himself, and then open the space gate. Heaven Thunder City had already been temporarily sealed off from the city, so no one was allowed to go near. Otherwise, they would be affected or even killed by the power of the altar. Everyone held back a little, as they did not release all of their power in one breath. However, this also caused the Sacred Sacrificed Altar to flash with an extremely strong light, and from there, a black spatial gate appeared above the Sacred Sacrificed Altar. That's enough, there is also a Sacred Sacrificed Altar in that world. When the time comes, we will use the same method to return. According to the agreement, the first to enter was Shin's ancient faction. They were leading the charge. Chapter 1052. Only after the ancient factions had all entered the space gate did everyone begin to fly up into the sky. The space gate was getting smaller and smaller as well. If they didn't hurry up, then it would close. In order to not miss the opportunity, everyone increased their speed and entered the spatial gate. Not long after, there was no one above sacred sacrificed altar. After entering the spatial gate, everyone landed on a very dilapidated sacred sacrificed altar. This sacred sacrificed altar was the same as the previous one, only the one here was very shabby, covered with weeds and covered with vines. Everyone looked up at the sky. It was no different from DTN's, surrounded by mountains. However, what they were looking at was not spiritual energy, but immortal chi. Even though it was very thin immortal energy, it caused many old fellows from ancient powers to be extremely excited. They thought that it would take a very long time before they could absorb this familiar immortal energy. It's actually immortal chi. Could it be that because of the abundance of resources in this space, it evolved into a higher grade space? A person said excitedly. It's immortal chi, but this place is relatively sparse. I think this place is similar to the heaven realm. There should be places with dense immortal chi, maybe all of these are spiritual crystal. Chen Zhang's expression was solemn, because he felt that this place was extremely familiar. Many people noticed his expression, and he suddenly looked towards the big shots of the ancient powers. What's wrong? Dragon subduing school of the dragon subduing school. An old man said, we aren't lying to you, right? What kind of expression is that? Chen Shang shouted, you bunch of bastards, this is the sacred Dan realm, you have the resources, but you have to be able to snatch away the alchemist here. When they had just arrived here, Chen Shang, Long Shui, Bai Yu and Su Meiyao were all very surprised. It was because the immortal energy here gave them a very familiar feeling, and also gave them a certain degree of gravity. This, impossible, how could this be a sacred Dan realm? An old man immediately retorted, this world was created by our ancestors to store the resources on top of DTN, who is about to be destroyed. Chen Shang originally thought that he would be very strong when he returned to the sacred Dan realm, but he never thought that he would actually come here in such a manner. That's why the sacred Dan realm is the heaven of the alchemist. I came here once before, I can't be wrong. Chen Shang laughed coldly. If you don't believe me, go out and ask a few people. Chen Shang had actually come to the sacred Dan realm. How did he do it? Many people now believed Chen Zhang's words. There's no need to look for him. Someone's coming. A lot of them. They're very strong. The white tiger suddenly said, these people are here in full fury. I think it's best for us to run. Many of them were relieved to see the great clan elder, dragon subduing school, but now that the white tiger had said such words, everyone's faces immediately changed. Elder sister Menga sent a if you are separated, you will find a place called Zilan Mountain Valley. The valley master's name is Yan Zilan and is very famous in sacred Dan realm. This sacred Dan realm is not simple. In the past I caused a lot of trouble here, and caused a lot of trouble. But those guys probably thought I was dead, but now A sent a. Back then he had passed his skills to Yan Zilan, the Zilan immortal fairy, telling her to walk less of the detour in the divine way, so Yan Zilan would definitely help them. Little scoundrel, you have to take care of yourself. Since you have already grown to such a stage, I am very happy for you, but I am also very worried for you. Lu Munger sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. She had long anticipated that Chen Shang would do something, but she had not expected it to be like this. An extremely terrifying aura came from all directions, followed by a dense crowd of people. The strength of these people were uncertain, and it was obvious that they had been guarding this place for a period of time. Otherwise, they wouldn't have arrived so quickly. This sacred sacrificed altar was surrounded by tens of thousands of people. When Chen Shang first came to the sacred Dan realm, he did not have a complete understanding of the sacred Dan realm. Even the strong warriors at that time did not know everything about the sacred Dan realm, but the people who surrounded the sacred sacrificed altar were mostly strong, and now everyone understood why the white tiger said that he wanted to run. We came from DTNA sent AA everyone, we have no enmity with you. An elder from an ancient faction hurriedly said. As long as it's someone from here, we'll kill them. An old man from the sacred Dan realm shouted. Chen Shang hurriedly sent a sound transmission to Huang Jintian. Master, if you don't understand the sacred Dan realm, after you scatter, go find an old man called Du Hai. He is a person from the Du family. It should be very easy for you to find his residence. At this time, the people of sacred Dan realm had already rushed over. It's Chen Shang. An old man suddenly shouted. As expected of this guy, he has been wanted by the sacred Dan realm for many years. I never thought that he would appear now. He has 7 chaos fire token, quickly catch him. There's also a bottle of holy water of Chenyang. Capture him and we can obtain 5 trillion spars and 100,000 kilograms of immortal jades. The people from the sacred sacrificed altar were all shocked. They never thought that Chen Shang could actually stir up such a big commotion in the sacred Dan realm. You bunch of bastards, all of you were played by the chaotic mountain. Chen Shang picked up the green dragon demon-slaying broadsword and slashed at the group of people rushing over, causing a wave of dragon power to surge out like a tidal wave. It struck towards the group of people and instantly swept them off the ground. It's the green dragon demon-slaying broadsword. Chen Shang coldly snorted, if you want to capture this father, all of you are too inexperienced. As he said that, he rushed into the crowd and ruthlessly slashed a few times. Using the extremely powerful dragon power and the green dragon demon-slaying broadsword, he set off waves of energy that swept away those who did not have much strength. Chaos Fire Token is the chaotic mountain's most precious treasure. Since you stole 7 of them, now is the time for the items to return to their rightful owner. An old man suddenly appeared behind him, emitting an extremely terrifying aura. It caused all the ancient powers giants to be shocked. Old guys from the chaotic mountain, the Chaos Fire Token is not yours. You were only worried about being killed by the Chaos Fire Token, so you didn't allow anyone to obtain the Chaos Fire Token. Chen Shang immediately took out 2 Chaos Fire Tokens and released a silver flame to protect his body. The old man from Chaotic Mountain originally wanted to give him a slap, but after seeing the silver flame, he immediately retracted his hand, his face filled with fear. Right at this time, Chen Shang stepped on the shrinking step, and ran towards a distant mountain. Disciples of the Chaotic Mountain, listen to my orders. Disregarding everything else, I will pursue and kill Chen Shang with all my might. The old man shouted angrily, and tens of thousands of people immediately flew towards Chen Shang, their shouts earth-shaking, extremely shocking. Chapter 1053. Until now, Chen Shang had already assimilated 3 Chaos Fire Token. It was probably because of this that he was able to see that the group of people just now were all from the Chaotic Mountain. It was just that he did not expect that if he ran, he would lure all the people from the Chaotic Mountain away. Hearing the words Chaos Fire Token, the white tiger's body trembled. He did not think that Chen Shang would actually get 7 pieces. He seemed to know about the Chaos Fire Token's situation. Leader has left. Li Baojun sighed. Being able to come to Sacred Dan Realm is also not bad. This is Alchemist's holy realm. Chen Shang had just told them that they could go find Duhai, the Dan Immortal, and settle down. The White Tiger had already heard from Chen Shang that there was a Starry Sky White Tiger race in Sacred Dan Realm, so he planned to look for him himself now. Sacred Dan Realm, they seem to be using spar as well. That brat probably bought quite a few high-leveled pills here and then went back to scam others. Huang Jintian looked at Ji Yu Dongchen and asked, have you brought enough spar with you? Yao Shumai said, I hope that we can find some undiscovered mines here. If not for Chen Shang, we would have attacked them just now. Those fellows are very strong. LV Qinlian looked around. I do need the resources in this place, but if I want to obtain them, it will be difficult. We can't go back for now, let's get familiar with this Sacred Dan Realm first. An ancient powers leader said. We'll gather here again 10 years later. Take care, everyone, we'll be leaving first. Soon after, those ancient powers all went their own ways. They all went their own ways in order to avoid fighting over good things when they were together. Elder Li, I have some private matters to attend to. He wanted to find Bai Xing. I also want to walk around here alone. I want to see how the alchemists are like. Li Baojun nodded. The White Tiger and Li Baojun also left. The other small powers were discussing about the alliance, but at this time, another group of people rushed over. There were even more people than before, as many as 100,000 people. Damn, this Sacred Dan Realm is too unfriendly. Everyone saw that the other side had so many people, and all the rankers had already left. They all flew away from the sacred sacrificed altar, and in an instant, all of them scattered. Big Bro ran off by himself again. I wonder how he'll fare in the future. At this time, Shui Shenxian and Wu Qianchen were walking behind Lu Munger, and behind them were Dongfang Xinyue and Hua Shangyu. The few girls were in a forest, because Hua Shangyu had said that there might be spirit medicine inside. You have to follow this kid. At the very least, you have to have the strength of the great elder beside him. Otherwise, you won't be able to deal with the enemy he is facing. Lu Meng'er sighed, not mentioning Leng Yulan, even she was not strong enough. Elder brother Xiao Shang is like this, it's not like you don't know. Shui Shenxian did not mind, as she was completely at ease with her husband. We should discuss our next plan. Dongfang Xinyue said. At this time, he and the other girls had all changed into suits that were convenient to move around. I will first search for spiritual medicine here, then leave this place and inquire about a place called Zilan Mountain Valley. That kid told me that I can find an acquaintance of his there. Lu Meng'er said. Is it a woman? Hua Shangyu asked. Yes sir. The girls were silent. Other than Leng Yulan and Dongfang Xinyue who didn't really care about this, they secretly cursed in their hearts. I've finally found you. LV Qinlian brought two mature and seductive women, falling from the sky and stood in front of Lu Meng'er and the others. Yao Shumai also appeared along with her. She had a very good relationship with LV Qinlian, and she only brought one person. We're all girls, let's be together. LV Qinlian chuckled, and came to Lu Meng'er's side. Lu Meng'er and the others knew that this demon empress was not bad, and her strength was also strong. Yao Shumai looked at Shui Shenxian and laughed. The man in your family is really powerful, he can even provoke trouble in Sacred Dan realm, and it seems that he has provoked a very powerful force. Shui Shenxian stuck out her tongue, and laughed, I have long gotten used to it. Within this group of 10 or so ladies, they were searching for spiritual medicine in the forest. What surprised Hua Shangyu the most, was that LV Qinlian's ability in finding spiritual medicine was also very brilliant, and he had a good understanding of spiritual medicine. On the other side, Huang Jintian brought Jiyu Dongchen and Wu Keiming, as well as 2 elders from Peach Island, and entered a stone mountain. Luckily that kid didn't bring my son. Lian Yingxiao said. Old Lian, why are you so concerned about your son? I remember that you had a huge conflict with him in the past. Jiyu Dongchen was completely puzzled. Because Ming Dong is more promising, he's the one that I'm more satisfied with. Lian Yingxiao curled his lips and said, you don't have a son, so you won't understand. Huang Jintian looked at the tall and big stone mountains around him. To be able to come to a high realm that I'm not familiar with, is truly exciting. Martial ancestor, even if you are excited, don't bring us down a path of death. Jiyu Dongchen anxiously said. Don't worry, let's do some calculations. We won't die so soon. Huang Jintian laughed. Right after he finished speaking, a terrifying beast roar came out, the rocks suddenly exploded, and dozens of gigantic black bears appeared. Seeing these black bears that were as big as mountains, Jiyu Dongchen wanted to curse out loud. What are you all still standing there for? Hurry up and run, Huang Jintian shouted, as he ran far away. Wu Keiming and the others were cursing in their hearts as they ran. They were supposed to be showing off their skills, but who knew they could run so fast? A. Chen Shang stepped on the shrinking step as he brandished his blade and attacked a few people behind him. When he felt that it was about time, he used the power of the spatial laws and used all his strength to allow himself to travel through space. In an instant, he disappeared and arrived beside a large river. This is troublesome, I did not expect to come to this damned place, the strength of Chaotic Mountains group is truly terrifying. Chen Shang laid in the river, looking at the white clouds in the sky, he laughed. Luckily these guys are very afraid of the Chaos Fire Token's flames, with my current strength, I can use these fire tokens to release quite a lot of flames. After the traders took all of DTN's resources, they all hid in this place. In that case, there must be treasures here. I think those ancient powers knew where the treasures were, but they didn't say anything. Su Meiyao said. That's right, maybe they all have treasure maps left behind by their ancestors. In the end, they were still tricked by this group of people. However, it doesn't matter, they will definitely anger many powers. When the time comes, perhaps even they won't be able to return to DTN. Chen Shang said. Chapter 1054. Chen Shang no longer had Luotian Gate S, otherwise he would have been able to teleport there. However, based on his experiences in the Sacred Dan realm, this place should be on the 10th floor of the Sacred Dan realm. The terrain of the Sacred Dan realm was like a ladder, the highest 18th floor was the strongest, and the gravity was also very strong. When DTN was about to break up, those traitorous powers definitely plundered the most precious resources. Thus, there weren't too many of them. I think they should hide these things together. Bai Yuyu said. Especially Immortal Jade Spiritual Crystal, if you store them all in one place, the more the better. It can even improve the quality. If it's a strange plant, it's the same. Quote. That's right. Only if they join hands can they create a powerful array formation to protect those things. Su Meiyao also agreed. Forget it, I'll go to the highest levels first. There must have been some huge change in the entire Sacred Dan realm. In the past, there wouldn't be this many people coming out from Chaotic Mountain, but now, there are tens of thousands of them, and I feel that the Chaotic Mountain has already ruled over the entire Sacred Dan realm. Chen Shang took out the Chaos Fire token. These Chaos Fire token were related to the Primal Chaos world, and Long Shui had said that the ancient books of her Imperial Dragon race recorded that the people inside those Chaotic Mountains could very likely be from the Primal Chaos clan. I want to go to Heaven's Sacred City to find an old acquaintance. Chen Shang used a transformation technique, changing his appearance to that of a middle-aged man, concealing his presence, and then leapt into the air, stepped on the shrinking step, and rushed towards the top of Sacred Dan realm. The Heaven's Sacred City was a large and important city in the 18th floor of the tower. He might be able to find Yan Zilan there, but Yan Zilan had already announced that he would cultivate in seclusion. Chen Shang, don't even think about escaping. Chen Shang suddenly heard a familiar voice sound out from behind him, and started to secretly curse in his heart. The person who had arrived was actually the Prince Imperial Dragon, and other than that, there were also his followers and the 8 dragons. And the Great Strength race, they're actually together. Chen Shang was shocked, he immediately rushed down into the forest, he alone could not face so many experts. Are you going to use the Chaos Fire token? Chen Shang started to run in the forest, waves after waves of terrifying power continued to descend from the sky. Best not to use it, don't forget that the reason you were able to fuse with Chaos Fire token back then was probably because of the dragon blood. If it wasn't effective on those dragons, it would be hard for you to escape. Long Shui said. How did these guys know I was here? Chen Shang had already activated his water escape technique to allow himself to escape from the ground and appear on the large river. Right now, he had to return to the first floor, where a piece of Immortal Poisoning Devil Forest was the safest. I remember now, there is a treasure in the Imperial Dragon race that was specially used to search for Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword S. It was refined by some old dragons in order to recall their Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword S. As long as it is within a certain range, they can sense the direction. Long Shui said, you have fused with the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword, I am afraid you will not be able to avoid the reaction of the treasure, this is truly troublesome. How many areas are there within a certain range? Chen Shang also felt a headache coming on. He stepped on the shrinking step on the surface of the river and followed the flow. I don't know, but it will take a lot of energy to use that magical equipment. As long as you break that magical equipment, they won't be able to track you. Long Shui thought for a moment, then said, only dragons can use that treasure, it's mainly used to absorb dragon power, if you see anyone holding that treasure, you can follow that treasure and absorb its energy and just pour that into your dragon power. But that magical equipment is pretty powerful, it's not easy to explode, even if you and my dragon power combined can't. They're chasing again, they're really fast. Long Shui said. Use all your strength to run. When we have the chance, kill them all. Fortunately, Chen Shang still had some understanding of the Sacred Dan realm, so he ran towards the first floor. As long as he went to the Immortal Poisoning Devil Forest there, he would be safe. If I had known this would happen, I would have brought the big white cat with me. Long Shui said with regret. No, with a white tiger, his identity will be exposed sooner or later. When that happens, who's strong enough to know where the white tiger is? Not only us, but also the white tiger. Chen Shang said. He had already heard from Chen Shang that the white tiger could not easily reveal his identity. The Sacred Dan realm was a high-level world. The experts that Chen Shang had met last time were not the strongest here, because it was said that there was a pill saint in the Chaotic Mountain. If there was an existence of this level, there was a high chance that there would be a saint who was mentioned by the white tiger. Prince Imperial Dragon and the others chased very closely, they were all very strong, so even if they had been chasing for many days, they would not get tired. That was why they dared to do this, seeing that Chen Shang did not have the white tiger by his side. Chen Shang had been chased for a few days, and had finally reached the first level, and even entered the Immortal Poisoning Devil Forest. Your Highness, the poison in this forest is very powerful. If I'm not mistaken, this forest was once stained with the dragon's blood. It is very likely that the missing poison dragon died here. The follower came out from Immortal Poisoning Devil Forest with a trace of fear. The immortal poisoning devil forest was shrouded in poisonous miasma. All of the flowers and trees inside carried poisonous miasma. If the strange flowers and plants inside were not poisonous, then it meant that these strange plants were extremely powerful and had the ability to resist poison. If we want to go in, we'll need to use at least half of our strength to resist the poison, and we can't consume too much of the other half. An old man from Great Strength Race said. Let's go, even Chen Shang can enter, why can't we? Xiaolong tightly clenched his fists as he looked at the immortal poisoning devil forest in front of him. Lock on to his position. Let's go in together and take him down. Prince Imperial Dragon had already made a decision, they would not give up until this point. The last time Chen Shang entered the deeper parts of the immortal poisoning devil forest, he did not meet any ferocious poisonous beast because of Duhai. However, it was different now, and he planned to enter even deeper, where even Duhai did not dare to enter. The poisonous beast here shouldn't even be afraid of the dragon's qi, because this place already has a very dense dragon's qi. If they were to meet a living dragon, I reckon many strong poisonous beast would be interested in it. Long Shui laughed. Only the weak poisonous beast would be afraid of the dragon qi, the strong ones were not afraid, they even treated the dragon as a delicacy. The last time he was here, he was already chasing after a dragon with Duhai. He never thought that it would actually be 10 dragons and a group of Great Strength Race chasing after him, which made him feel that it was somewhat funny. Of course, when Chen Shang came here this time, he was much more powerful than last time. Furthermore, he had the shrinking step, which had fused with the spatial rule spiritual bead, allowing him to have the ability to travel through space. However, Prince Imperial Dragon and the rest were different. After entering deeper in, the poisonous miasma was even stronger, so they had no choice but to slow down their pace. Right now, they could only find the direction of Chen Shang through the treasure. They were still far from Chen Shang, and they still had to rest. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew from the immortal poisoning devil forest, turning the poison mist into a poisonous aura. Following that, a thunderous roar that came from a beast the whole day sounded out, shattering a large part of the trees. A very strong aura. Prince Imperial Dragon's expression changed slightly. Chapter 1055. Arrogant Pill God 1055s_arrogant Pill God_ from. Arrogant Pill God 1055s_arrogant Pill God_ from. Although Chen Shang and the Prince Imperial Dragon were quite a distance away from the poisonous beast could feel the dragon's qi. With 10 dragons approaching at the same time, the poisonous beast did not want to clash with the dragons, so it gave out a warning. Even though he knew there was a poisonous beast in front, Chen Shang still continued to rush forward. Although that place was dangerous for him too, the more dangerous the place was, the safer it would be at times. At least, if those dragons in Great Strength Race were near, they would clash with that poisonous beast. Keep chasing, Prince Imperial Dragon considered for a moment before shouting. As a Prince Imperial Dragon, with 9 dragons and a few powerful Great Strength Race, how could he be afraid of a wild beast? In Immortal Poisoning Devil Forest, the green poisonous miasma was denser. After the gust of wind, the green poisonous miasma was like a demon possessed, undulating up and down, flapping its claws and making waves of noises, making this poisonous miasma filled with death forest appear even more eerie. Chen Zhang's face was gloomy, perspiration trickled down his forehead, and his footsteps became heavier and heavier. Bang, 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 his heart was beating very quickly. Even though he knew that there was an extremely terrifying poisonous beast up ahead, he still felt his heart tremble. That poisonous beast seemed to have the ability to transcend the heavens, as it unknowingly gave off an aura that made people despair, making people feel that the closer they got to it, the closer they felt to death. Do you know what's up ahead? Chen Shang asked Long Shui as he slowed down his speed by a lot. I don't know, but I just want you to be very strong. You have to be prepared for serious injuries. Of course, if you are not discovered, then you are safe. Long Shui said. The Prince Imperial Dragon wore a golden crown on his head, and he wore a magnificent golden dragon robe. His handsome face was expressionless, and so were the 9 dragon-shaped men beside him. Your Highness, do you really want to continue going in? Chen Shang obviously brought us here on purpose, although we do not know what is inside, but their power is extremely terrifying, and it will be difficult for us to deal with them. A red-armored man said. This was a follower Prince Imperial Dragon brought from Heaven Realm. You have to go in, you have to use the earth-shrinking art together, we have to stop Chen Shang before he goes in. From the moment he had met Chen Shang, He had always wanted to eliminate Chen Shang. He didn't know who had passed down to Chen Shang the divine arts that only Dragon Emperor could learn, but he couldn't allow other than his father for others to learn the Emperor Dragon divine arts. They stopped. The 10 big men formed a circle, with Prince Imperial Dragon and the other great strength race people in the middle. Remember to consume a medicinal pill to recover later. The earth withdrawal art will consume a huge amount of energy. Prince Imperial Dragon warned him, only to see the 10 big-sized men shouting, a ray shining with a gold light, quickly spinning. They started to move. In a blink of an eye, they had traveled a long distance. Chen Shang, who was flying in the air, suddenly saw a golden light, and saw a group of people suddenly appear in front of him. It was Prince Imperial Dragon's group. It's ground withdrawal. Why didn't I think they would use this? This is an ability of the Imperial Dragon race to travel through space. However, the energy consumed is extremely huge and normally requires more than 10 people to use it. Long Shui shouted. Chen Shang, you can't escape. The Prince Imperial Dragon sneered. He transformed into a golden rainbow and rushed towards Chen Shang, his hand turning into a dragon claw, grabbing towards Chen Zhang's head. Chen Shang revolved the power of the spatial laws, took a step forward, traveled through space, and disappeared, leaving nothing behind for the Prince Imperial Dragon. I thought I could fight you fairly, but I didn't expect you to be so mediocre as to send a bunch of people to capture me. I've overestimated you. Chen Zhang's disdainful voice came out. The crowd silently cursed, and actually allowed Chen Shang to escape just like that. Chen Shang had mastered the power of the spatial laws, but just now, he did not manage to release any of his spatial energy, so these people did not know how he managed to escape. Keep chasing. Prince Imperial Dragon's face revealed anger. He shouted and ran towards the direction of Chen Zhang's voice. Your Highness sent AA. The burly man in red armor let out a helpless cry and could only continue to chase after him. One side had to defend against the poison mist, while the other had to use up all their energy to run. If they were to be attacked by the poisonous beast, they had to defend. It was extremely difficult for them. However, Chen Shang was not afraid. His recovery speed was extremely shocking, and with his impenetrable, he was like a fish in water within the immortal poisoning devil forest. "AA sent AA, Long Shui screamed, I feel it. No wonder there's such a terrifying fellow here. The dragon pearl of the poisonous dragon that died here is still alive." Quote. Could it be that the poisonous beast in front is absorbing the power of the poison dragon pearl? That's right. Maybe the dragon pearl is too big, and it's not easy to take away, and it contains a lot of energy. A sent AA. Chen Shang said, didn't you say in the past that the more powerful a dragon was, the smaller the dragon pearl? That poisonous dragon is very powerful, so the dragon pearl should be very small. Quote. However, the dragon pearl of the poison dragon is very special. You must know that even though the poison dragon has transformed into a human, he is still a very large giant. Long Shui said, legend has it that that guy was born with the giant dragon pearl. Not long after, Chen Shang saw waves of red light shoot out in front of him. That dense dragon chi was extremely demonic, and within the red light there was an extremely strong poison. Chen Zhang's eyes flashed with a golden light as he activated Chaos Divine Eye and pierced through the thick red fog. As expected, he saw a red bead that was as tall as a mountain in front of him. Be careful. Just as she finished speaking, the ground began to shake. Once Chen Shang released his divine power, it covered the area in front of him. He could sense that there was a large group of poisonous beasts approaching him from all directions, as if there were 10,000 horses galloping. This is a good opportunity. You can use the dragon power inside the dragon pearl to destroy the treasure that was chasing you. Long Shui said. Chen Shang once again used the power of the spatial laws and charged through the group of poisonous beasts, arriving beside the gigantic red dragon pearl. It's the dragon pearl of a poisonous dragon. It really is the legendary poisonous dragon. Prince Imperial Dragon suddenly became excited, but he was extremely worried, because the dangerous aura was becoming denser and denser. Chen Shang used his divine power to lock onto the square plate in the hands of a big-sized man, which was his tracking treasure. He activated the devouring magic Kung Fu, absorbing the dragon power inside the huge dragon pearl into his body, and then imbued it into the treasure. Chapter 1056. In one breath, Chen Shang devoured an extremely large amount of dragon power, and almost caused the meridians in his entire body to explode. One breath, Chen Shang shouted. He had devoured a lot of dragon power, and it was extremely violent as well. Adding the dragon power of himself and Long Shui, it was more than enough to swallow that treasure. This is bad. The man saw the square plate in his hand tremble and immediately shouted, wanting to put it away. Bang! Fang Pan suddenly exploded in the big-sized man's hands, and at the same time, the group of poisonous beasts rushed towards them. This bastard! Prince Imperial Dragon reacted and knew that it was Chen Shang who broke the treasure. If they wanted to track Chen Shang now, it would be troublesome, since they had to face a large group of poisonous beasts. Beautiful! Long Shui laughed and shouted, kill this dragon pearl, I feel that the powerful guy is inside this dragon pearl. Chen Shang looked at the blood-red, enormous dragon pearl in front of him, and couldn't help but shiver in his heart. The fellow who had made him tremble with fear the entire way, had actually entered this dragon pearl to cultivate. Fine, 1 doesn't need to do it first, 2 doesn't need to do it. Chen Shang took out the green dragon demon slain broadsword and leapt into the air. With a loud roar, the green dragon demon slain broadsword suddenly became extremely huge and released a powerful aura. This huge divine blade seemed as if it could easily cleave the heavens and the earth. Stop! Prince Imperial Dragon already knew what Chen Shang was going to do. Hurry and retreat! Prince Imperial Dragon shouted in anger. Boom! The green dragon demon slain broadsword landed on top of the gigantic dragon pearl, and after Chen Shang poured a lot of power into the blade, it became extremely heavy and it was so easy that it split apart the gigantic dragon pearl. Oh! A roar came out, the group of poisonous beasts were all blasted apart by the angry sound wave. The dragon pearl that was broken was shattered by a strong and angry force, bringing about a burst of gale that swept out in all directions. The entire land was like a rolling sea. A large amount of soil and forests were shaken by the violent power until they looked like a surging tide. The thunderous roar from earlier had shaken the entire sacred Dan realm, especially the first floor. Right now, it was in the midst of the aftershocks, and the 18th floor was also shaking violently. Big trouble, haha a cent AA. Chen Shang had already shuttled through space continuously, using the fastest speed he could muster to leave this immortal poisoning devil forest. As for the group of people from Prince Imperial Dragon, he felt that even if they managed to escape, they would suffer heavy losses. The instant Chen Shang slashed open the dragon pearl, he left through space. He couldn't see what was inside. In short, the things inside were extremely terrifying. He felt that he would need the white tiger to go all out to kill it. Prince Imperial Dragon suffered a huge loss this time. Not only did he waste so many days, he even let the treasure that could only track green dragon demon slain broadsword be destroyed, and now he was even trapped in an extremely dangerous situation. Chen Shang was already rushing towards the 18th floor. As long as there were no treasures, it would not be easy to find him. He had already been away from the immortal poisoning devil forest for a few days, but nothing was chasing him. The Chen Shang who took away 7 pieces of the Chaotic Mountain's Chaos Fire token all those years ago was actually still alive, and had even returned in an extremely domineering manner. After killing many people in the Chaotic Mountain, the bounty the Chaotic Mountain placed on him had increased once again, and the streets and alleys were filled with his portraits. The Chaos Fire token were extremely important to the Chaotic Mountain, and this was something that everyone knew. Back then, in order to capture Chen Shang, the Chaotic Mountain had intentionally released a few Chaos Fire token to attract Chen Shang, but who knew that not only did they not catch Chen Shang, they were even taken away by Chen Shang. At that time, everyone thought that he had died, but in the end, the people from Chaotic Mountain found out that the Chaos Fire token still existed. As long as the Chaos Fire token was still there, it meant that Chen Shang was not dead, so they kept bounty on Chen Shang. Chen Shang used his shrinking step and stepped on the clouds as he ran in the air. Suddenly, he heard a scream from below. This voice is very familiar, it seems to belong to that stupid girl Jing Jing. Long Shui said. It is indeed Dongfang Jing's voice. Why is he here? When Chen Shang heard the voice, his heart could not help but tighten. Although this simple girl was somewhat stupid, she was still extremely lovable. He immediately flew down, and high up in the sky, he saw a young man laughing wickedly while dragging his clothes. Dongfang Jing's clothes were tattered and his face was covered in tears. There were 2 purple-robed elders not too far away from the young man. One of them shouted, "Kid, hurry up and finish this. We still have to hurry on our way. I will make sure this little girl dies comfortably soon, haha." The young man laughed sinisterly. When Chen Shang saw this scene, he was infuriated. He immediately teleported through space and appeared behind the young man, activating Angry Dragon Slay. He released a furious roar and slashed diagonally in the air, chopping the young man into 2. Jing Jing, don't be afraid. After Chen Shang released Dongfang Jing immediately began to cry bitterly. She took out a sword, gritted her teeth, and started to chop at the young man's body, crying out loud with a face full of grief and indignation. The two violet-robed men, hearing the furious roars of the dragons, immediately hurried over. You are a sent a Chen Shang. An old man saw the green dragon demon slain broadsword in Chen Zhang's hand and shouted in shock. This old man from Purple Moon Imperial Land was not very strong. Although he was able to get through Nirvana Tribulation, the other person was very strong. Jing, get a good night's sleep. Chen Shang knocked Dongfang Jing out, and placed him into the ring. He knew that Dongfang Jing had definitely received a huge shock, and that she had followed Dongfang Chaochun here. If Dongfang Chaochun wasn't by her side now, she might very well be killed. Dongfang Lingyun. Chen Shang recognized one of the old man, it was actually the great elder of the Dongfang family. When Dongfang Lingyun saw Chen Shang, his face was filled with anger. Even in his dreams, he wanted to kill Chen Shang. Brat, you're dead for sure. Dongfang Lingyun's face was sinister, he took out a sword and rushed forward like lightning. The other elder's eyes were also red, because the young man who died was his son. Chen Shang was currently filled with rage, and shouted, "It's you who's going to die." As he spoke, he activated the magical corruption gas stored in his body. The colorless and tasteless magical corruption gas was released by Chen Shang with a gentle breeze, enveloping his surroundings. The corpse on the ground suddenly turned purplish black, and Dongfang Lingyun's old man also sensed something. It's a demon corruption sent AA. Dongfang Lingyun's face changed drastically as he immediately channeled all of his energy to prevent the magical corruption gas from spreading within his body. Before he could finish his words, Chen Shang had cut his head off. The other old man's face was pale and his entire body was trembling. Let's go. Chen Shang flashed in front of him and slashed at his neck, causing his head to hit the ground and his body to instantly turn into a purple-black color. Chapter 1057. Although magical corruption gases were powerful, they could only deal with people with strength around the 9th Nirvana Tribulation. If the Prince Imperial Dragon, who had a powerful body like a dragon, were to be poisoned to death within a short period of time, he would escape. Therefore, Chen Shang did not dare use the magical corruption gases on these people, otherwise, this matter would be exposed. Chen Shang released a burst of flame and burnt the corpse. When the corpse was burnt to ashes, he saw a folded yellow beast skin. It was not burnt by his flames, and it did not occupy any magical corruption gas either. It could be seen that this beast skin was no ordinary thing. He immediately picked it up, unfurled it and discovered that it was a map. The powerful warriors of the Purple Moon Imperial Land are basically all dead, only these few guys came here on behalf of the Purple Moon Imperial Land. Could it be that the treasure on this map is where the ancestors of the Purple Moon Imperial Land hid their treasures? Chen Shang was a little excited, he carefully looked around, memorized the general location, and then placed the beast skin into the ring. However, the ring was still in his hand, and he had not entered it. What a strange map, it can't even be placed inside the ring. Chen Shang was startled, and tried again a few times, but it still didn't work. It might be that there is some powerful invisible spirit grain inside, and cannot be placed inside. Otherwise, these people would not have brought them with them. Su Meiyao said. At this time, she and Bai Yuyu were taking care of the unconscious Dongfang Jing. Chen Shang ran towards the location marked on the map, it was right around here. Is that girl all right? Chen Shang asked. Her internal injuries are very serious, but she's slowly recovering after eating the relived Dan. It seems like she's suffered a huge blow. Su Meiyao sighed lightly and touched Dongfang Jing's face. When she wakes up, I'll comfort her and then take her to find the warm moon. Those are her only family members. Chen Shang sighed, thinking back to how the kind and simple Dongfang Jing had slashed that young man's body with her sword, she could see the hatred in her heart. Chen Shang followed the map and walked according to it. He wanted to find this place quickly and bring Dongfang Jing to look for him. He hoped that Dongfang Xinyue and the others could follow his instructions to look for the Zilan Mountain Valley. Otherwise, given how big the sacred Dan realm was, it would not be easy for him to find them. He did not encounter any danger along the way. On the contrary, the terrain was extremely dangerous, but it was nothing to him. The map indicated that the item was hidden within a large mountain. It doesn't seem to be anything big. This thing looks like a very small altar. Chen Shang arrived outside the mountain and looked at the map, just about to look for the entrance to this building. Can this small altar take me to another place? The map showed that there was a map that looked very similar to the sacred sacrificed altar inside the mountain. It looked like a small altar. This mountain has a formation. For many years, this mountain has been protected by this formation. Long Shui said. Chen Shang also noticed it, and he could tell that this array was not simple, breaking it wouldn't be easy either. He unfolded the beast skin and walked around the mountain. Suddenly, the beast skin emitted purple clouds. With a thought, he pointed the beast skin towards the formation. The entire mountain lit up with purple clouds, and the formation disappeared. As he approached the mountain, he pushed open a huge rock, saw a purple door, and then opened the door with the hide. This ancestor of the Purple Moon Imperial Land is pretty amazing, he can even make a piece of the beast skin this amazing. Chen Shang praised. As he walked along a tunnel, the four walls radiated with a gentle white light. Not long after, he arrived at a stone room. There was indeed a small altar in this room, but it was too small and didn't seem like it was used for transportation. It was only the size of a regular round table, but there was a shallow groove on it. Chen Shang compared the beast skin with the previous one and discovered that it was the same size as the one in the groove, barely able to be laid out. After laying it down, a circular array appeared on the beast skin, like a purple moon. The small altar slowly started to spin, then burst out with a purple light, and a purple square stone piece floated up, looking like a palm in size. However, when Chen Shang took it over, he felt it was very heavy. There seems to be a void heavenly stone inside this rock, could this be the treasure? Chen Shang carefully looked at this purple stone piece, then channeled his god power inside. He saw that this stone piece suddenly grew in size, and a map actually appeared on top of it, which made him even more excited. He felt that this was the real treasure. Beast skin map cannot be stored in storage magic treasure and cannot be incinerated. This way, it can be passed down and this place can be found. When Chen Shang placed the stone piece at its largest, it was only the size of a bed. He carefully looked at the map on it, and realized that this map was only one piece of the map. Do you need many of these pieces for a complete map? Chen Shang suddenly thought of something. All the ancestors of the ancient powers hid such a stone piece, and the things they hid were all gathered together. Moreover, they needed all of the ancient powers to join hands, so it cannot be lacking. But now, he had obtained a piece of the Purple Moon Imperial Land stone, which meant that if he were to lose them, the efforts of the ancient powers would be in vain. The broken shoes are everywhere, so it doesn't take me any effort to get them. He sent AA. Chen Shang placed the stone piece into the ring. This stone piece could fit inside a storage magic treasure, unlike the beast skin from before. Chen Shang left and rushed to the 18th floor. Is that stupid girl awake? Chen Shang asked. No, she looks very tired, and she even recovers from her injuries. Her mental condition is also seriously damaged, so she might need to sleep for a few days. Su Meiyao said. I wonder what exactly she went through. This level of injury wasn't caused by the people from Purple Moon Imperial Land, especially the damage to her sea of consciousness. She suffered a mental attack, and she wasn't injured at all. The internal injuries were not caused by the power of the innate qi, but were caused by the power of spiritual sense. Long Shui said. If she did not have the clan's blood soul in her body, she would have died a long time ago. It seems like Dongfang Chaochun merged the clan's blood soul into her body, allowing her to live. She and her father must have met with some powerful object, and only she escaped in the end, falling into the hands of those Purple Moon Imperial Land fellows. Long Shui said. The blood soul of the Dongfang family was a heaven-defying existence that allowed people with the pure blood of the Dongfang family to pass through the Nirvana doom smoothly. It was for this that Dongfang Lingyun schemed against Dongfang Chaochun and Dongfang Xinyue back then. I need to find Dongfang Xinyue quickly. This little girl must be extremely sad. Dongfang Xinyue is her aunt, seeing her family, she should feel better. Chen Shang increased his speed. Chapter 1058. It was late at night, and the cold wind was blowing in the heaven-sacred city, but the entire city was still bustling with noise and excitement, unlike during the day. Especially around a 5-story tower, many people were looking at the handsome youth at the top of the tower. He was dressed in purple and was seated cross-legged in front of a crystal-like pill furnace. After he poured in the medicinal ingredients, he injected them into the flame and the medicinal ingredients inside were incinerated, releasing a dazzling green light. Chen Shang saw this from afar and secretly smiled in his heart. This kid still likes to be in the limelight so much. The tower was opened by a girl called Lin Zai. The girl came from Chaotic Mountain, and was supported by her parents to open this shop. When Fan Yakin fell in love with her, he helped her take care of the pill shop. Seems like I've found the right place. Chen Shang walked over. Just as he was about to step into the pill shop, he heard a clap of thunder, and the green light outside disappeared. Who is it? Fan Yakin shouted angrily. His precious crystal furnace had been struck by a bolt of lightning just now, causing it to explode and become extremely damaged. Chen Shang was the same as everyone else, they were all extremely shocked. They raised their heads to look for the person who attacked Fan Yakin, causing such a huge commotion in the Heaven Sacred City, as this violated the rules of the Heaven Sacred City. HMPH, showing off all day. Other than this bit of skill, what other tricks does your medicine shop have? A tall and handsome youth mounted on a purple flame lion with wings flew over from the distance. I was wondering who it was, but it turns out to be your grandson. It's not strange that you could do this sort of thing in secret. Fan Yakin kept the broken crystal furnace and clenched his fists. Why is it you again? Are you annoyed? Lin Zai suddenly appeared at the top of the tower, her white clothes fluttering in the wind. HMPH, your Lin family is about to be chased out of Chaotic Mountain, what are you being so arrogant for? Why don't you just marry me obediently? Although this kid is a bit capable, he's much weaker than me. The man riding the purple flame lion glanced at Fan Yakin in disdain. Fan Yakin scoffed, you are just a little stronger than me, if we are comparing notes concocting pills, you are far weaker than me. Give me some time, I will definitely surpass you. Boom. A burst of muffled sound came out, the purple flame lion suddenly opened its mouth and spat out a ray of purple lightning that struck Fan Yakin's body. That purple flame lion that could fly was indeed powerful, with one bite, it instantly caused Fan Yakin to vomit blood. If it were not for Lin Zai hugging him, he probably would have flown far away. No one had expected this man to be so powerful. He had not done anything, yet he had already ordered his mount to attack this man. HMPH, the weak are the weak, this is the best proof. If you were a strong warrior, you wouldn't have let me bully you like this. The man said arrogantly, he then looked at Lin Zai. Tomorrow, I will bring people to challenge your Shiyi pavilion, I will smash your signboard with my own hands. When Chen Shang saw this scene, he was secretly infuriated. He could also tell that the families behind Lin Zai and Fan Yakin had lost their power, otherwise, they would not have been bullied like this. He took out the death-haunting arrow and stealthily aimed it at the purple flame lion. Using the strongest dragon power, he pierced right through the lion's heart. This guy likes to sneak attack others, and I'll let him have a taste of being ambushed. Chen Shang sneered in his heart, circulated the vigorous innate qi in his body, turned it into a dragon power, and poured it into the death-haunting arrow. Although there was currently a majestic amount of energy circulating, to the point that Chen Zhang's control was extremely strong, and his death-haunting arrow had become very powerful after being modified by Lu Menger and Dongfang Xinyue, there was not a single bit of aura being released. Don't blame me for not reminding you. Tomorrow, I will bring a very powerful alchemist to ruin your reputation, haha a cent aa, the young man laughed wildly. Arrogant my ass. Chen Shang thought about it as he secretly released an extremely terrifying arrow. This arrow was condensed from a large amount of dragon power, and when it flew out, it made a whistling sound. In that instant, everyone felt a strong sense of oppression. Whiz! Some people with sharp senses saw a white light suddenly flash by, bringing along a terrifying power as it tore through the space, flying towards the purple flame lion. After it penetrated through the bottom and entered the purple flame lion's body, the violent dragon power exploded, causing the purple flame lion to explode. The man let out a strange cry as a silvery white light barrier appeared around his body, protecting him within. Who is it? The him who had always been high and mighty, no one in the Heaven Sacred City dared to stop him. But now, he was ambushed, and even his precious mount was blown into pieces. Just as the man shouted, Chen Shang released another arrow, which struck onto the silver shield, causing a strong explosion of air, sending the man flying. However, the man was not injured, he must have been carrying a very strong treasure. Humph, he was worried that if he were to continue, he would be killed. He immediately flew away, flying towards a very tall stone tower in the middle of the Heaven Sacred City. Isn't that guy Primordius' grandson? I never thought that someone would actually dare to attack him. This is called the circulatory cycle of wind and water. Haha, this is quite interesting. That purple lion is a rare beast, but it was actually killed by someone, not even a beast core was left behind. Chen Shang had aimed at the beast core earlier and detonated the inside. Fan Yakin also wanted to know who was making a move in the dark, but he was severely injured, and the attack from the purple flame lion was extremely powerful, so Lin Zai had to carry him and leave right now. Chen Shang turned into a black butterfly, followed them to a hall, and then changed back to her original appearance. Lin Zai still looked at Fan Yakan's injuries, while Fan Yakan scolded the man from before. "Brother Fan," Chen Shang shouted, giving Fan Yakan and Lin Zai a big fright. Seeing Chen Zhang's mischievous smile, the two of them heaved a sigh of relief, but their faces were filled with surprise. It had already been more than a month since Chen Shang came to the Sacred Dan Realm, and the fact that he appeared again was already long known to the Sacred Dan Realm. Furthermore, there were many powerful forces near the Heaven Sacred City, but Chen Shang actually dared to come, and they all thought that the person who secretly attacked the man just now was Chen Shang. "Chen Shang, it was you sent AA." Fan Yakan was stunned for a moment, then laughed out loud. "Well fought, that grandson, with his grandfather's strength, is overbearing here, why didn't you kill him?" Lin Zai shook his head. "You shouldn't have come. You are currently in an extremely dangerous situation, and all the powerful forces in the Chaotic Mountain are looking for you." Chen Shang laughed. "It's nothing, if I want to hide, it's not easy to find me." Chapter 1059. Chen Shang examined Fan Yakan's body and discovered that there were quite a lot of injuries on his body. This was the reason why Fan Yakan's cultivation level had stagnated, and why he was able to have such a high level of mastery over alchemy. It was all because he possessed the fire soul of the netherworld. "How did you get hurt? It seems like this power can only be used by people from the Chaotic Mountain. Could it be that you have been opposing the people from the Chaotic Mountain all these years?" Chen Shang frowned. The injuries on his body, the remaining energy could only be used by the experts of the Chaotic Mountain. Lin Zai bit her lips and sighed. "Let me say it. He was injured by Primordius, who is one of the elders of the Primal Chaos clan in the Chaotic Mountain. The Primal Chaos clan has many branches, and our Lin clan is one of them, but right now, he has been suppressed by the most powerful Super Yuan Mountain of the Primal Chaos clan. The Super Yuan Mountain was established by some people who wanted to rule the entire Primal Chaos clan, which was Primordius's group." Chen Shang rubbed the side of his nose and said, "I remember that it was this guy called Primordius who attacked me back then. But why did he injure Brother Fan? This is A sent AA, because of me, his grandson Hu Feixiao wanted to marry me, and then A sent AA." Chen Shang immediately understood. "Don't worry, there's enmity between this Primordius and I, so leave this grandson of his to me." "Right, what kind of person is Lu Yuan?" Quote, "Primordius is just his name. No one knows his real name, so he can use the chaotic force of the Primal Chaos race. That is the power that remains in Yakan's body." Lin Zai lamented. "Ever since he was struck by that palm, he has been stuck in place, and both of us have no way of dealing with him." Chen Shang pinched Fan Yakan's wrist and said, "I'll try." He activated Devouring Magic Kung Fu, locked onto the remnants of the chaotic force, and then absorbed it into his body. With regards to the Devouring Magic Kung Fu, he had already reached the pinnacle of perfection, so there was no need to worry about he would swallow Fan Yakan up. Sensing the chaotic force in his body flowing away, Fan Yakan was both surprised and delighted. He widened his eyes, looked at Chen Shang and said, "Chen Shang, you're really amazing. It's nothing, but you better keep on pretending so that others will look down on you. However, you are also secretly raising your strength, so in the future, it will definitely be of great help to you." Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. "Oh right, what happened in Sacred Dan Realm? Why are there people from the Chaotic Mountain everywhere?" Chen Shang asked. He had come here to understand the situation. "It's the Super Yuan Mountain from inside the Chaotic Mountain who wanted to dominate the entire Sacred Dan Realm. However, no matter what, the Sacred Dan Realm still has many powerful forces, so the Super Yuan Mountain has never succeeded. Adding on the fusion of some Holy Demon Realm and Holy Demon Realm with the Sacred Dan Realm, the Super Yuan Mountain's plan has been completely broken." Fan Yakan's complexion looked much better. The chaotic force was like a bunch of poisonous bugs in his body, causing him to suffer for all these years. "I knew that old bastard Primordius wouldn't be able to kill you. You went back to the mortal martial realm, right? I never thought that you and Du Yanyao were actually pretending to be married, what a pity." Fan Yakan said. "A lot of things have also happened in the mortal martial realm." "How is Yanyao now?" Chen Shang asked. In the entire Sacred Dan realm, Du Yanyao was considered a rare female genius. Just like me, he was also targeted by the grandson of one of the big shots in Super Yuan Mountain. Lin Zai sighed. "She's currently hiding in Zilan Mountain Valley. Where's her grandfather, Du Hai? This old fellow is very strong, how can he let someone forcefully marry his granddaughter? Quote. Du Yanniao viewed Du Yanniao as his good friend, and he was extremely concerned about this matter. Was severely injured by the Super Yuan mountain, and his whereabouts are unknown. His son Du Kangsheng had died a tragic death. If not for the fact that Du Yanniao had followed the Zilin Immortal Fairy and obtained the protection of the sacred dance school, he would have been married off a long time ago. Quote. Lin Shi's words shocked Chen Shang greatly. Du Hai had actually gone missing after being heavily injured, and Du Yanniao's father had been killed. Remembering the Dongfang Jing who was still unconscious inside the ring, Chen Shang could only sigh helplessly. Chen Shang had even told Huang Jintian, Li Baojun and the others to look for Du Hai earlier, but he never expected that Du Hai would encounter such a huge change. Tomorrow, Hu Feixiao will come again, he will do what he says. Tonight, my injuries will completely recover, I want to make sure that he loses miserably. Fan Yakan clenched his teeth and said. Chen Shang was still absorbing the energy of chaos within his body at this moment, so he hurriedly said, no way, the energy of chaos in your body has been sucked out by me, but you have to rest for at least 2 to 3 months before you can fully recover. Leave it to me tomorrow. Let me ask you something, who is the person who wants to forcefully marry Yanniao? What kind of background? Even though Yanniao and I are fake husband and wife, she is my good friend and I must help her take care of this fellow. Quote. Fan Yakan and Lin Shi's expressions changed slightly as they looked at each other in panic. That's the grandson of the leader. Although he is usually domineering, this guy's strength is still quite good. Fan Yakan still did not know Chen Zhang's current strength. Furthermore, they have already found a method to deal with the Chaos Fire token. As you have seen earlier, when you attack them, a light barrier will appear around them. But of course, this is only true for those noble clans of the Primal Chaos. Lin Zai said. You don't have to worry about this, I will take care of it. If not, I will have my friends help me. Although Chen Shang had split up with White Tiger, they would definitely meet again in the future. Tomorrow, I will deal with those people who came to cause trouble. If they really want face, then they should try to beat them up by competing in pill refining methods, and I will also use this kind of gentle method to hit back at them. But if they are shameless, I will make them lose their lives. Quote. This caused Lin Zai and Fan Yakan to feel a little fearful. Hey you guys, what's there to be afraid of? Wasn't it just losing a pill shop? With your talents, this medicine store will still be fine without you. Chen Shang said. Moreover, the one who attacked was me, not you two. Don't worry, if they are here to compete in pill forging, I will compete with them. If not, I'll kill them with my true colors. Back then, his grandfather almost killed me, so it's normal for me to want to get rid of his grandson. Chen Shang thought, because this might cause a huge war between Super Yuan Mountain, Fan family and the Lin family, and would cause a lot of deaths. Fan Yakan knew that Chen Shang had definitely become much stronger, or else he would not have made Hu Feixiao sound so easy to kill. Chapter 1060. The Heaven Sacred City had already been taken over by the Super Yuan Mountain. After Hu Feixiao was sneakily attacked, the entire city was sealed, only allowed to enter, not allowed to leave. Furthermore, there would often be powerful elders flying in the sky with a group of people searching for suspicious people, but they would definitely not be able to find anything because they did not have any clues at all. On the second day, just as Shiyi Pavilion opened the door, Hu Feixiao arrived in a luxurious sedan chair. A very powerful-looking alchemist followed behind him, and it was a very young man. Is this the so-called future pill god of Super Yuan Mountain? I heard that at such a young age, he is already an alchemist capable of refining a low-grade heaven-level pellet. Quote. Hu Feixiao invited him to deal with Fan Yakan, is he simply abusing him? Who doesn't know that Fan Yakan was injured last night, and that his internal injuries have not healed after all these years? Many people were discussing in whispers in the distance. This boy is called Zhang Yanqing. He was born with the heaven flame, and in the future, it is very possible that he will cultivate a fire of chaos. His attainments in the area of alchemy are extremely high, and amongst the young generation of Sacred Dan Realm, no one is able to match him. Fan Yakan passed on to Chen Shang. What rank of pill can you refine now? Middle ground level, Chen Shang replied. It's not bad, my improvement is quite fast. It's a hurdle to enter the upper grade of the ground level, it's difficult for many alchemists to pass. Fan Yakan said, I will have them restrict the rules to the middle grade ground level pills. With this genius alchemist, their conditions should be a lot more lax. Hu Feixiao sat in a luxurious palanquin, protected by a few powerful-looking elders outside. It seemed that they were worried that he would be ambushed again like last night. I've long heard that the alchemist is quite powerful. The alchemist wants to compete with you, and it's also a form of training for him. Hu Feixiao's voice carried an arrogant tone. Hand over your powerful alchemist, and don't embarrass yourselves. Why do you insist on accepting your challenge? Fan Yakan was extremely furious. She really wanted to rush over and smash this fellow's nose. You injured me last night, I haven't even settled this score with you yet. I remember that every 10 years, Heaven's Sacred City's medicine store must accept at least one unconditional challenge, otherwise, scram. Hu Feixiao laughed coldly. Alright, how do you want to compete? Fan Yakan suppressed the anger in his heart and asked. Zhang Yanqing took a step forward, took out many broken medicinal ingredients and threw them on the ground. Upon seeing these broken medicinal ingredients, many people sucked in a deep breath. Many abandoned medicinal ingredients were quickly piled up at the Shiyi Pavilion's entrance. These medicinal ingredients could not be planted for various reasons, but if in the hands of an outstanding alchemist, these medicinal ingredients could all be refined into pills. You all should be familiar with these medicinal herbs. Zhang Yanqing asked coldly. As the most talented alchemist of the young generation, he naturally had a kind of arrogance. Qi Shen Dan. Fan Yakan let out a long sigh. The Qi Shen Dan is a kind of middle-grade ground-level pill that can help people cultivate the innate Qi and consciousness at the same time. However, even in Sacred Dan realm, the medicinal ingredients are already extinct. That's right, the Qi Shen Dan is a middle-grade ground-level pill. Because it is too easy to refine it, it is listed as a middle-grade ground level, and its use will become upper-grade ground level. However, if we were to use discarded medicinal ingredients to refine it, the difficulty would increase by a lot. After Zhang Yanqing finished speaking, he continued to take out the abandoned Qi Shen Dan medicinal ingredients. There were so many of them that they looked like two small mountains the height of a person. Zhang Yanqing's eyes carried a trace of provocation, and said, I know that the two of you are pretty good alchemists, and that among the younger generation, you are alchemists who can refine abandoned medicinal ingredients into pills. Refining abandoned medicinal ingredients into pills was indeed difficult, and it also tested the standards of the alchemist. Although these medicinal ingredients were abandoned, the medicine aura inside them could still condense them into pills, and adding all of them together, it would still reduce the difficulty. You. Zhang Yanqing looked at Lin Ziyi, and then looked at Fan Yakan. I'll do it. Chen Shang walked out. He had turned into a young man who looked normal and unremarkable, and was dressed very simply, not like an alchemist at all. The moment Chen Shang stepped forward, many people frowned. From the outside, he did not look like a person, but the crowd could see that Fan Yakan did not have any intentions of stopping him, and knew that he was hiding his strength. With just you, Zhang Yanqing looked at Chen Shang in disdain. Tell me the rules. Chen Shang did not say much. 2 piles of abandoned Qi Shen Dan's medicine, each of us will take one. In one day, whoever refines more Qi Shen Dan will win, and the Qi Shen Dan will belong to whoever. Also, if I finish refining my medicinal ingredients and you still have too much left and the time is not up yet, I can use your medicinal ingredients to refine it. Zhang Yanqing looked down at the young man in front of him with disdain. He felt that if he were to compete with the young man in front of him, then he would have to lower his status and status. Chen Shang nodded and said, if the first thing I do is to refine all of these medicinal ingredients and before the time is up, you still have a lot of medicinal ingredients left. I can also take your medicinal ingredients to refine, right? That's right, but you don't have that possibility. Zhang Yanqing sneered. Are there any other rules? Chen Shang asked again. The pill furnaces we use are our own. If the pill furnace is blown up, it will become a failure. Nodded his head. Being able to use abandoned medicinal ingredients to refine Qi Shen Dan made him secretly happy, because he had never been able to find the Qi Shen Dan's medicinal ingredients. Su Meiyao had said before that this kind of pill was magical. It was only one pellet, but it had the effect of 2 kinds of pellets. He took a pill furnace and checked it. This furnace had not been tampered with, and its quality was still decent. It seemed like Hu Feixiao was planning to fair and square when it came to defeating Shiyi Pavilion. Of course, Zhang Yanqing disdained using tricks to defeat others. How are you going to win? This little brat is not someone who is easy to deal with. Su Meiyao asked. First, I will refine 1 or 2 batches. After getting familiar with them, I will refine an entire pile of them in one go. Chen Shang already had a comprehensive plan. After obtaining the heavenly alchemy, he would be able to make great progress in the area of alchemy. Furthermore, he would have a variety of methods to support and speed up the process of alchemy. Oh, did you just learn a new method from the heavenly alchemy? Su Meiyao's eyes lit up. He was really looking forward to the moment Chen Shang would show his skills. Big sister, I won't let you down. Chen Shang had already taken out a few supplementary ingredients, and with a single glance, Chen Shang could tell that the quality of the supplementary ingredients were of extremely high quality. This would help to make up for the deficiencies of the abandoned medicinal ingredients. This was something he needed to do as well. Chen Shang also took out the supplementary ingredients. Although it looked to be very different from Zhang Yanqing's, the supplementary ingredients were all made from creation divine liquid, and it could be said that the supplementary ingredients contained a mystical power.